Last time on Square Roots, we're cleared of all wrongdoings on an Earth is under attack technicality, meet up with our old friend Liara on Mars, and take advantage of some Citadel hospitality. Get well soon, Caden, but not too soon. Gotta love that topless in a coma look. He just lies there, but that's all he has to do.
And welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I'm joined by Matthew Van Zant.
Jim, did you take your recording selfie yet?
I did.
Jim, say prunes when you do it.
Why?
Do it.
Make your lips pouty.
Do it.
Oh.
Prunes.
Prunes.
No, you're not supposed to do an ooh. It's prunes.
Also, watch your pop filter. You're not supposed to go, puh.
Also joined by John Edie Brandon.
That is a joke.
And Vanessa.
Prunes.
Can I ask a question?
This is a podcast where we play and talk about your favorite classic RPGs.
I guess
one chunk
not.
at a time.
Yeah.
Matt, what is your question?
Did we talk about Edie last week and how she's a sexy robot now?
Not yet.
No,
What?
but
Hey,
we're going
this
to.
week.
Great. So we've got some real body horror nightmare shit coming up on this episode. As a metal woman, for some reason, is still wearing the tightest bikini I've ever seen in my life.
And has a wonderful sharp bob you do not want to hit your face.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Her fucking bob looks like it would stab you.
That should be your melee attack as she like goes whoosh, whoosh.
Jim, did you say what we do on this show?
He did.
I did.
I heard
Say
him.
it, but also say prunes.
No, because he look at his lips when he says prunes. He's doing it wrong.
He's going,
That's
ooh.
how you're supposed. That's
Do
how
it.
you're supposed to say it.
Do it, Jim. Say it.
Prunes.
Wow,
There's
you
no
are really
O
fucking
in
this
prunes.
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 See, it's the
Prunes.
That's supposed
Look
to
at
be
how
the pouty.
look at how soft and pouty our lips look when we say it, and look at how you look like a fucking robot. Prunes. Are you ChatGPT? Is that what happened? Did you get replaced when we weren't paying attention?
Yes.
You know who taught everyone that? The prunes trick.
Yes.
No.
Henry Kissinger.
Yes, Henry Kissinger.
Henry Rollins.
After the Vietnam invasion. It's like, now here's the trick.
After he green lighted the bombing of Cambodia,
Yeah.
he taught everyone to do prunes. Oh,
So, Vanessa,
geez.
who did you learn it from?
Yes. From the Olsen twins.
Oh, that's
from,
embarrassing,
like,
and
on
I don't
Full
want to
House?
say it now.
No, from their just social media activity.
Yeah, this
It's
is
their little
adult
trick
Olsen
for
twins.
doing the duck mouth when they
Yeah.
get their picture taken.
Oh,
Can you imagine those poor women, like, with the thousands of photos that are constantly taken of them, just spending their lives saying prunes, like over and over, daily, hundreds of times a day? Do you
Yeah.
think they say it so much that the word loses meaning?
I
Probably.
would say prunes constantly every day if I could have $1 billion.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
they
that's
do.
true. They always look so unhappy in the photos of them, though.
Yeah.
Didn't
Maybe
one of
they
them
are
like, quit
unhappy.
to become a vet?
Yeah. Yeah, well, one of them's definitely, like, out of acting and everything. I don't
I
remember.
thought
if
most
that's-
of their
they were,
money
like,
kind of came from like
fashionistas.
fashion stuff.
Well, they also had that huge kids
Sweatshops,
line.
probably.
With some,
Yeah.
That whole kids, they had a kids empire for a while. That thing. those things
Right.
were
Yeah,
funny.
it made them literally $1 billion when they were children.
All those
Remember
movies that they
like
made.
that
and
like
stuff.
going to grandma's house video or whatever?
No.
There was like a whole special where it's like, I'm going to grandma's house. It's like I'm riding a bus.
I
was
kind
like
of remember it.
a teenager when that came out. I wasn't
I
going to watch
remember-
that.
We've talked up before on this show about the song they did that has their little sister Wanda.
Yes. Oh, I don't know if
WandaVision
we
in
talked
it.
about it on the show. Have we? Because I did watch it, and it was strange that they were making fun of WandaVision there.
I remember the
name's not
song where they
WandaVision.
sing about ghosts.
I know the song where they sing about pizza. That's my favorite song of theirs, especially if you watch it in the slowed down version.
I'm going to be real with you. It feels like an adult man having a favorite Olsen Twins song from when they were children is a little not okay.
Give me
Welcome to Remember the Olsen Twins.
You're
the-
allowed to enjoy an Olsen Twins song, but you're not allowed to favorite one.
Yeah.
Wait, but it's ironic.
This is Remember the Olsen Twins, the internet's premier Olsen Twins podcast, where we remember things the Olsen Twins have done.
Thank you, Vanessa. Can you introduce the rest of the hosts for the
Yeah.
Olsen Twins podcast?
I'm your host, Vanessa Kate Olsen. I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Jim K. Olsen.
Jimmy Olsen.
Oh yeah, Jimmy Olsen. Yeah.
Matthew Kate Olsen.
Matthew Ashley Olsen. Wait, Mary Kate? Yeah, Mary Kate and Ashley. Matthew Ashley Olsen.
Maddie Kate. Olsen.
Damn it.
And Elizabeth.
I'm the cute one. She's
No,
Butt
just
out.
a
out.
sister.
We hate
Get
you.
out of here. Boo.
You're right. I am the cute one is my favorite Mary Kate and Ashley song.
Oh gosh.
What are we talking about this week?
We need to level up. We're talking about Mass Effect still.
Mass
Yep.
Effect still. This is the first episode.
Yeah. It's the second episode.
No, this is the first episode. You guys didn't record without me again, did you?
We did.
It
Oh
was
my
just
God.
a short 2 hour and 35-minute episode.
I was in the ER after I got hit by a bus.
Yeah.
Matt, you would have been very angry with us. It was 52 minutes before we even got before we got to the quest log.
It's
Any
true.
of you possibly have to talk about that's interesting enough to talk about for a full hour? I
don't
know all
don't
three of you
remember.
very
Long.
well, and the answer is nothing.
We went on a pretty long political tangent.
I'm not the one who stood in the middle of the road saying, and I guess we're going to get killed now like a Final Destination movie and then get hit by a bus. Haven't you seen Final Destination 1? Why did you do that?
I was laying down on the road like a teen in the 80s.
Oh, I thought planking was a problem in the 2000s.
He was just so
do they-
overwrought with emotion. He had to lie down in the street. Are we
the
playing
word
Jimmy's
for
stupid
what Michael-
game, or are we
Yeah,
talking
hold on,
about
I
have
hot
a
gaming
question.
news?
What's the word for what Michael J. Fox did in Teen Wolf, where he rode around on top of the van?
Is there a word for that?
Um,
He
Yeah,
was
there's a
surfing.
word for it.
I know he sketched or whatever, but that was in Back to
Back
the
to the
Future.
future.
There's a name for it.
Car surfing?
Car surfing.
I don't know.
It's called car surfing.
I hate this conversation, and I want to level up.
Yeah, we're gonna,
All right,
we are
let's
doing
level
Jim's
up.
game.
Are we doing that first?
No, we do.
We
do
usually
that
do
after
that
the level.
first.
Have we ever
Wait.
done it first? No,
No,
we don't
we
usually
do
do
it
it
No.
after- Yeah, we do the
I
level
thought
up
we
first.
always did it first.
No, we do
No.
hot gaming news first, but
We haven't been
full
doing that.
frontal failure comes after.
Full frontal failure. Love it. All right. I'm going to go first. I'm going to level up first. I bought and have played through the Dead Space remake
Wow.
Ooh.
But
on
you barely
my
talked
PS5.
about it in the chat, and you always talk
I
about
know.
the games you played through so goddamn much.
Aw,
I've
but we love
played
it.
through the game twice. I've done a new game playthrough and a new game plus playthrough. The game is great. I love it. It's scary and gross, and the weapons are super fun to use, and the sound design is wonderful, and it integrates a lot of Dead Space lore into the first game, where there really wasn't a lot of that in the original, like
That's
the
lame.
unitology stuff.
Okay, so it's a George Lucas Star Wars remake situation. Now I'm out.
No,
Let me
it's
guess.
good.
They replaced your chainsaw gun with a walkie-talkie.
I wish. They don't have a chainsaw gun. I wish that game had a chainsaw gun.
That's Gears of War.
That's Gears of War, yeah.
Got that buzzsaw gun.
Oh, you have the Ripper.
You're right. Yeah, it does
It's
have
a
that
buzzsaw.
ripper.
See, I don't use the Ripper. I use the plasma cutter, the contact beam, the flamethrower, and the plasma rifle, plasma rifle.
Which is
Did you
the
just
one?
name every other gun in the game?
No, there's like 4 other ones.
Which is the one that shoots the pegs that stick them to the wall?
That is the javelin launcher. That's in Dead Space 2.
Oh,
That's
that's
pegger.
my favorite one. Yeah,
That's
that's
the
if you
best
like
one.
pegging for sure.
Yeah.
I would have
Yeah.
called it the Pegger.
Yeah. Pegger is a better name.
But yeah, I like the game a lot. I think it's really good. I want to play through it again. I'm thinking about trying to do an impossible mode run, which is the
Sounds
hardest
impossible.
difficulty, and it's a permadeath situation.
Nice.
So I'm a little nervous about it, but I kind of want to try it just because the game is so fun.
Quick question. How is this game related to PUBG?
This is the one that's not related to PUBG.
Pretty sure it's related to PUBG.
Although in Callisto, there was... What's the name of that map? Name the maps in PUBG.
Erangel, Vikendi, Miramar, Sandhawk, Tago, Destin, Karakin, Haven.
I can't remember which one of those words it is. Maybe it's Miramar, but there's like a Project Miramar or whatever in Callisto, and that's like the only PUBG Easter egg.
Doesn't
that I
even
can
have
find.
like General Rastinov or whatever his name is from
No,
from
none of that.
Puchinsky.
You think you'd be able to find like, I don't know, like a gun or something from PUBG?
But all the
Nope,
guns in
nope.
PUBG are just normalized guns.
Oh yeah, they're just regular guns.
So Jim,
Yeah,
if you
Jagular.
complete Dead Space 1 in I think it's under 2 hours, you know you can unlock Zero Suit Isaac, right?
Is that Naked Isaac?
No, he's wearing like a sexy blue leotard.
Oh, see, I want to do impossible mode because you get the hand cannon, which is a foam finger that, like a big foam finger that Isaac puts on, and every time you shoot it, he goes bang, bang, bang. And it,
That sounds pretty amazing.
Like one hits every. Yeah, it's pretty.
Oh,
awesome.
I
It,
made
like,
that. That
one
was
hits
a
everyone.
that was a Metroid joke, Jim. It was a Metroid
Oh.
joke.
I got it, Johnny. I got your great Metroid joke.
Thank you.
The only thing I wish they would have done in the Dead Space remake is have more suits. I want all the suits from Dead Spaces 2 and 3 in gorgeous high definition. Like I want that snowsuit. I want the security suit from 2. I want all that. But don't have it. I'm hoping that instead of like going to remake Dead Space 2, that this studio just skips ahead to Dead Space 4. Just give us Dead Space 4 already.
You know, I don't think I
what
could
I
ever play the Dead Space remake now that Isaac doesn't shoot first.
Isaac has a voice in the Dead Space remake, and I like that they brought back Gunnar Wright, the voice actor from the originals, because he was a silent protagonist in the original. Now he's fully voice, but like not in an annoying way. He only talks when like other characters are talking to him. He's not like otherwise he's really silent.
He's
which
not
is good
like,
because the
I
sounds in
guess
the
you
game
have
are
to move these 3 pylons to unlock the space enhancer.
good. Yeah.
He's not screaming at you the
and-
whole time. I love killing. I want to kill things, Rick, or whatever.
Oh no, a necromorph.
I hate these guys.
Let's go to
Better
Applebee's.
leveled up.
I better aim for their limbs.
Oh no, space is scary. Matt, how did you level up?
Oh man, I played a couple of games and I watched a couple of movies that I will briefly talk about. Number 1, I played that Hi-Fi Rush game that released on
It rocks.
Game Pass, and I think it's kind of boring, actually.
Wow.
It's really pretty and it's got a lot of style, but I thought it was pretty boring. I think the gameplay loop's pretty boring. I think that the characters are super boring. I do like that cat, though. Give me more of that cat. Robo.
Jim. Next scare route should be Evil Within.
Should it?
Okay.
Yeah. It's by
I
the
think
same people
Evil
that
Within-
made
Let's just skip
High
to
Five.
Evil Within 2.
It's by the same people that made Hi-Fi, whatever it's called.
I don't like
Yo,
the
I-
first Evil Within, but Evil Within 2 is great.
Matthew, I apologize for interrupting you. It was related, but only tangentially.
Tango Gameworks.
I also downloaded that Age of Empires 2 HD Remastered Definitive Edition or whatever the fuck it's called. Y'all ever play that Age of Empires 2?
Yeah, when I was a baby. It's a baby game.
Yeah.
My sister did. I never did. She was real into it.
I played it on PC back in the day, and I liked it, and I'm glad... Excuse me. I'm glad that it's gotten this fun remaster. I've been playing it with some friends online. I like to build up my little civilization and then make 100 guys and go wipe out my enemies. The controls are shockingly good for a strategy game on a console. There's a lot of AI involved. You can basically... It gives you a series of options on what to do with the villagers that you can choose to use, which makes it a lot easier to not have to micromanage them. It kind of micromanages them for you, though it is also kind of dumb. So, like, if you've got it set so that, whatever, most of your people are doing one thing, and you're like, oh, I need a couple of people to do this. Sometimes they will, and sometimes they'll just kind of walk back and go back to what they were doing and ignore what you want them to do. It's very frustrating. But anyway, Age of Empires 2 HD Remaster Definitive Edition. Pretty great.
Who you playing with?
Playing with Paul. Doing some different kind of murder, you know?
Are you also playing with weird strangers on the internet, though?
No. We've been playing against the AI.
Ah.
Anyway, it's fun. It's a great, relaxing game to play. It's not as stressful, though we did finally lose a match this morning, and it was a real bummer. We got wiped out. We bumped it up to, like, moderate difficulty. Anyway, I watched that new Candyman movie from last year, I think. What do y'all know about that Candyman?
Bees.
I've seen a Candyman.
I know that he needed to go to the fucking doctor way sooner than he did. That's what I know. If you get stung by a bee and your whole hand looks all scaly and the flesh is falling off and then it's creeping up your arm, go to the fucking doctor, people. Candyman.
Maybe he didn't have insurance.
Yeah, it's an indictment of the American medical system.
No, it's not. They're kind of well off. He's an artist. Anyway, and his girlfriend owns an art gallery. It was silly. The movie is silly, and it also has some like powerful messages about like Black life in America and gentrification that I thought was really good. But then it was also really silly at times, like when the man refused. He didn't refuse, just nobody even told him to go to the doctor. He's walking around with a huge bandage on his hand and like bleeding and has like scaly arm, and nobody that sees him is like, holy shit, let's get you to a doctor right now.
I liked the ending of that movie.
Yep, the ending
Had
was
a
really
great ending.
Yeah, it was a really interesting ending, and there were a lot of bloody, gross kills, and that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Candyman, pretty good. And finally, I watched Vanessa's favorite movie of last year, Black Panther 2.
It's my favorite movie of last year. I don't think I saw it last year. I think I saw it this year. I can't remember.
It's
when I
February.
went
You
to
didn't see it this year.
Didn't I?
It was still in theaters last I checked, like last week.
Yeah, in January. I saw it quite
But the movie
late.
is from last year.
All right, I'll accept that.
Black Panther 2 I thought was pretty okay.
Yeah,
Pretty
that's how I
okay.
felt about it.
There's some great stuff. What's her name? Angela Bassett? Is that...
Yeah, Academy
Ramonda?
Award nominee.
She's fantastic. I mean, she's easily the best part of the movie. The woman that plays Okoye is just as great as she has been in the other Marvel movies. And it's a little bit of a... It's kind of... unfortunately, kind of makes the lead actress, Letitia Wright, look not great in comparison to the two of them. Which is not...
they need to elevate her, I think. Like, she's so good.
I don't know that that's true.
I think you meant the woman who plays Okoye,
Yes,
not
that's what I meant.
Letitia, right?
Right.
I liked that Namor for the most part. I liked his little wingy feet. I liked his cool, like, Mayan get-up.
I liked the way they played with the idea of sirens in the traditional seafaring sense. I thought that was really cool.
Yep, they used that a couple of times.
Yeah, the costumes were great. It looked great. But it didn't really feel like a movie to me in the sense that it had a traditional plot.
It also introduced the M word into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
What's the M word?
In that
No, it
that
didn't.
Namor calls himself a mutant.
I believe that was introduced in Ms. Marvel last year.
I didn't watch that.
Okay, well, sorry. It's
You didn't
you know,
watch
I'm gonna
Ms.
be
Marvel?
honest.
Oh yeah, you're over it. I forgot.
Yeah.
But Ms. Marvel was really good.
I felt like the biggest problem with the movie is that just like I just this like script wise, it was just kind of hand wavy and bland, and I didn't particularly like most of the characters that were
Bland
introduced
wavy.
or much. There's a lot of just magic technology. You know, I said this in the chat. Y'all remember when like Iron Man had to like learn how to like fly and shit, and that was like engaging and interesting and fun, and now people are just like, whatever, man. Like it's just
Yeah.
magic now.
They've
And
kind
not
of
like-
over-teched their universe with the whole nanobot stuff because those could do anything.
I didn't like it on Iron Man either when he turned into Nanobot Man, and I don't particularly like how Wakanda is all vibranium, and it doesn't make any sort of logical sense. It's just like, what's happening there? Vibranium. How does that turn into a phone? Vibranium. Why do you have a laser gun? Vibranium. It's kind of weak. I thought it was a weak movie. And I've liked some of their, Phase 4 movies quite a bit. I liked Spider-Man No Way Home. I liked Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness quite a bit. But some of them have been pretty bad. Like Eternals. The first, in my opinion, outright bad Marvel movie. Just top to bottom bad movie.
I found
Anyway.
Thor: Love and Thunder pretty forgettable too.
Yeah, I haven't even rewatched that one. I don't know. I feel like it had some good stuff in it, but Thor: Love and Thunder had a problem of it had too many jokes. Like Ragnarok was great because it towed that line where the situations and the people were humorous, but Thor wasn't just like spouting one-liners. And Love and Thunder was just all of their all of the big character moments in that movie in Love and Thunder are just completely undercut by people joking around. It's kind of, and it did make it kind of forgettable, which is sad because I thought that Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher was phenomenal. Anyway, that's my tangent. Black Panther 2, meh. Hi-Fi Rush, meh. Candyman, eh? Age of Empires Online HD Remaster 2 Definitive, 2 thumbs up. Vanessa,
Yeah.
how did you level up?
How did I level up? I guess this is sort of a level up / hot gaming news. And I might invite Jim, our reporter on the ground, to join me in this. Remember everyone's favorite game hero, Billy Mitchell. That's right.
Oh yeah.
We're going all the way back to King of Kongville. And
Do we
Billy
have to?
Mitchell, the poor
One of my favorite
maligned
movies.
gamer, accused of cheating to achieve a Donkey Kong
J'accuse?
high score.
Wow, the original one that he like got famous for?
Actually, it's interesting. Apparently, he submitted 2 scores. One was the one he submitted on VHS tape in the movie King of Kong. The one he had somebody hand deliver at Fun Spot. And another score that was supposedly done in person at some kind of like real estate brokers convention. Those are scores that he submitted that he had in Twin Galaxies, and those are the disputed ones because in reviewing the footage, it's pretty obvious that he was using an emulator. And so he submitted some photographic evidence, namely the arcade unit that he played at this convention.
I don't know if
oh my
he
gosh,
submitted it. I thought that someone just
He-
kind of found it.
he asked for it to be submitted.
Oh no! Why?
Yes, yeah.
Didn't that
so-
happen when King of Kong came out?
No, this is recent.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. But in the photos, of this arcade cabinet, there's a non-standard joystick, an 8-direction joystick, whereas the standard Donkey Kong joystick is 4 directions.
Yeah, and it's quite different. It's longer, and it has a red ball on the top, as opposed to the original cabinet's sort of squat black ball topper. And there's really not an argument he can make about that at this point, because it needs to be an unaltered cabinet. And whether or not you could say like, oh, it looks like an 8-directional stick, but it only went 4 directions, or the length doesn't make a difference, the color doesn't make a difference. It doesn't matter. It's still an altered cabinet. So the score would be void.
I think what's most entertaining about Billy Mitchell is, like, in the movie King of Kong, he's obviously such an asshole, but like all of those middle-aged nerds in that movie just like revere him as like the ultimate video game player, and they all want to be like Billy. It's so strange.
Yeah, and I don't really understand the end game here, because it's kind of a scam, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of money involved one way or the other.
Just ego.
There's a big ego. He makes some money from like paid appearances at places, as like he won the title of like video game player of the century or something like that.
For getting a high score in fucking Donkey Kong? Like, sir, have you played Elden Ring? Give me a break.
He played the first ever perfect game of Pac-Man. But it turns out he's also a liar.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just misremembering it with information we learned years later, but I swear by the end of King of Kong, he's been stripped of that title.
So at the end of King of Kong, he still had the record, and then in like the epilogue, it said that like after filming that Steve Wiebe did eventually get the high score, and then it was taken away from him by another guy. But those 3 are at the top of the leaderboard still.
Oh,
right. Well,
wait.
I think that Mitchell has been kind of stripped, and this particular photo has to do with the lawsuit that Mitchell filed against Twin Galaxies for defamation, basically saying,
because
you
Twin
guys
Galaxies
said I faked this footage and it's cost me money.
Yeah, so when Twin Galaxies was sold to the people that own it now, from Walter Day, they went and reviewed some of his submitted scores, and they're like, oh, this is obviously junk. So they took away his scores and put out like a statement on their website explaining why, and then he immediately sued them.
I have a semi-relevant, if you don't mind me interrupting for a moment, Vanessa. I also am a high score holder. That's right. I took my son to the arcade museum by me last weekend, and I got the high score in Kung Fu.
Like the number
Kung
1
Fu?
high score?
Karate?
Karate champ.
Karate champ. Yes.
Yep.
That's right. Matthew Van Zant, high score holder in Karate Champ at this one particular arcade.
My favorite thing to do when I go to arcades is to play Guitar Hero and then get a high score and then input my name as Jam.
This is more of a retro arcade.
Guitar Hero is pretty retro at this point, my friend.
It's 18
Yeah,
years
that's
old.
my
Retro.
daughter.
This is pinballs and Donkey
18
Kong.
years old this year. Good Lord.
What is?
Guitar Hero.
Oh my gosh.
I got the Guitar Hero 2 guitar pack in 2005.
Wow.
I had to order that
Wow.
as special from
I used
Red
to love playing
Octane.
Guitar Hero when I was like in high school and college. Played it all the time.
Me too.
I used to have the high score on a Terminator 2 pinball machine. But I don't really
That was
play
a cool
pinball that
one
much
because it
anymore.
had like the robot.
yeah, it was
skeleton.
cool.
Oh, I
It's
remember
just his
that.
head, right?
Yeah, it was
How's
its
the upper
head. It
body?
would be like
Oh,
champ
okay.
champ. I was playing
Pinball's
the-
garbage, though. So
No,
I love
pinball's
pinball.
amazing. I was playing the pinball at Voodoo Donuts in Portland, Oregon,
Hey.
and You know, when you like get an extra game or get a multi-bowl, it does that really satisfying thwack sound, like a baseball being hit right in the sweet spot. So I was playing it for quite some time, and I got a fan. It was a little boy, and he was watching me play, and it made the thwack, and he goes, "Is that a high score?" And I was like, the best. Whenever I play a game in public, I want like a little boy to be my hype man and just be really amazed at whatever I'm doing, even though it was, I would say, a medium game of pinball at best.
It's like in King of Kong when that one nerd guy walks around. He's like, "There's a Donkey Kong kill screen coming up," and then just wanders the arcade. Donkey Kong kill screen.
Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong.
I'd go see that. Is that like how I was when I saw the Northern Lights on the plane I was on, and I said to the guy, "If you look out the window, there's Northern Lights." Am I like that kill screen guy?
The
I've never seen
Northern Lights are,
I've never seen
spectacular.
them before. It was the first time in my life.
Some people
You live in
aspire to
Canada,
see
isn't
them
that
their whole
basically-
lives.
You live in Canada. Isn't that basically your son?
Basically, but no, not where I grew up, and we're all too far south most of the time. But on the plane, I was far enough north.
Yeah, something like isn't the stat like something like 80% of Canadians live within 50 miles of the U.S. border
Yeah.
or something like that?
I can walk to Blaine, Washington in a couple of hours.
Why would you want to? Oh, Johnny. Remember the old days when you could just saunter across the border without going through any customs or anything?
No,
Oh. I remember that. Well, I guess
there
you
was
still
always
have to, like, say...
there was always a strict border in between Quebec and New York, and that was the one I always crossed.
Between Washington and BC, I mean, I think you still just had to be like, hey, we're coming in, and here's where we're going, but you didn't have to show ID, really, or anything like that, and you could definitely get out of the car and, like, wander around, like, right where the border is, so you can do the 1 foot in the U.S., 1 foot in Canada thing.
So, what else did you do other than getting a high score in a pinball game?
That's not actually what I did,
Oh.
but thank you. And I finished Three Pines, which I think, Johnny, you maybe tried and didn't care for.
I couldn't do it, Vanessa. There's too much English. There's
Yeah.
too much English. It took me out of it because, like, a small town in northern Quebec where everyone speaks English except for a couple of people is no. And the Sûreté Québec, they're going to be speaking French. It's a pretty French organization that doesn't hire a lot of Anglophones.
Yeah, and their books that the show's based on are written by a woman who was raised in, like, a small town in Quebec. So I'm sure that
Are they
she
written in
and-
French or English?
I don't know, actually. I think the title was English, but they could have just translated it, like, for the show's purposes when they say based on this book. But I'm sure it was a decision to make the show more accessible to
For sure.
a wider audience.
I think it would be interesting to have, like, an Anglophone Sûreté Québec detective, and, you know, dealing with the indigenous peoples and their language and dealing with the French, because that's, like, the thing in Quebec that is, I think, would make a really good TV show. It's just kind of the politics of language is so huge there. It's such a big thing, and to have a show that ignores it and kind of has this weird everyone speaks English, and especially in the government, which is a huge no-no, like, it's weird.
Yeah, I guess you just have to pretend that they're speaking French. But then sometimes they actually do speak French, so
Yeah.
you can't really do that.
Yeah. Because there was, like, basically in Quebec in the 50s, up until the 50s, all, like, the high, you know, all the government and, like, businesses and stuff were all conducted in English, and basically they treated the French in Quebec like second-class citizens, and that there was what was called the Quiet
Seems right to me.
Revolution. That where the majority French population very quickly took political control and over Quebec and the government and all, like, offices and businesses and stuff, and it kind of pushed out a lot of English business, and it was a huge thing, and that's what led to the attempts at separation from Canada.
Interesting.
Isn't
See, I
Quebec, like-
don't have this cultural background. I just like the quirky detective show. I also watched another new show. It's Australian. It's a show about these kind of 5 different people who come together, and they are in this. It's filmed partially in Australia and partially in New Zealand, and the 5 people, they have to go to this house in New Zealand, and they go kind of one by one, and then when they're over there, there's a little man there, and he gives them a chore or a task to do, and they have to
Oh my
do
God.
these tasks.
How is
and
this
then
still a thing that's happening?
they go back to Australia, and there's an Australian man there who's their like the master,
Like the task coordinator.
He's
Yeah.
the task coordinator, and he watches footage of these tasks that they've done and gives them points. It's called Taskmaster Australia.
Is there a
And,
submissive Australian who has an iPad and gets teased by the cast?
There is an Australian who has an iPad. It's early days, just one episode has aired, so it's hard to say exactly what the dynamic is, but he definitely is in service to the Taskmaster.
Okay.
So I highly recommend that. You can stream it on, I guess, All 10 or something like that. I forget what it's called. Just do what I do and go to Australia and watch Australian Taskmaster. It's great.
Oh, yeah.
But it is filmed in the Taskmaster New Zealand house, which is an interesting choice. Apparently there weren't any houses available in Australia to be
With
the
that
Taskmaster
lovely
house there.
swamp behind the house.
Yeah.
I will say the grounds of the New Zealand house is much nicer than the UK house, which is just a backyard.
Yeah, the UK house is tiny by comparison.
They call
but,
that a garden in the UK.
I know they do. It's like, what are you talking about? It's not a garden. It's a lawn. They're so dumb. And then they're like, oh, put it in the boot of the car. Cars don't wear boots, idiots. So that's how I leveled up. Jim?
I already went. John still has yet to go.
Johnny, how did you level
Hello.
up?
Well, what did I do this week? Oh, God, I'm drawing a blank now. Wait, I played a lot of video games, right? Help me out here. What'd I do? I should have been thinking about this at some point.
You kind of haven't been around that much. It was like the weather was bad.
Yeah,
You were working.
I was working, and I've been playing Mass Effect. I restarted playing State of Decay 2, and that looks very pretty. And we talked about. I did see Megan in the theaters, but we talked about that last time. And I've been
tried
rewatching.
Three Pines and you didn't like it.
Yep, been rewatching Kimmy Schmidt. Once again, you just have to skip the weirdly conservative episodes, like Tina Fey getting mad about people being mad about her casting white people as the role of non-white people.
Right.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Or the one about how stupid feminists in college are for respecting people's pronouns.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
They are dumb.
Tina Fey seems like she's gotten just cooler and cooler over the years.
Mm-hmm. I really like her in Kimmy Schmidt, both as Marsha, what's her face from the OJ trial, and as the drunk therapist is a really good character in season 2.
This is a true story. When I was in college, I was in a class that was sort of like a discussion kind of class.
Mm-hmm.
And this was undergrad. And one of the women in the class who had she was not what you would call a girly girl. She had a short haircut and sort of dressed in an unconventional way. And she started her comment by saying, "I'm not a feminist, but..." And I was so blown away by that statement that I couldn't even hear what else she said. I just spent the rest of the class trying to think, I'm not a what does that even mean for a woman to be like, I'm not a feminist? I know you aren't a conservative Christian. I'm so confused. I was so confused.
Some people just have that shit ingrained in them,
Yeah, it's
like by their
I'm not a
parents
liberal,
or by
but
society.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
They are, but they don't want to identify with it because
Mm-hmm.
they've been the culture they've been brought up in is that being feminist or liberal or whatever is bad, just as a
Yeah.
label.
I just want to be like, so you don't think women should make pay parity with men? I don't understand what you're saying by saying I'm not a feminist. You don't believe in women's suffrage? Like what? What is it?
You know what I have been doing? So I've been on a real workout kick. I've been working out 6 days a week, either cardio. I alternate cardio or heavy lifting. And so that's been really good. And I've had a lot more energy and been feeling vivacious and full of
Well, you're
verve.
looking beefy.
Thank you. I really am. Like it's been, this is the first time I've really had muscle showing, and it's very strange to me.
They call it swollen, I believe.
Yes,
Swole.
I've been getting swole. And I have been trying out the various Dance Centrals. I think Dance Central 1 is more my kind of music. I went back to it, although the technology. Okay, so have you ever you all played Kinect, Xbox Kinect,
No.
Jim,
A little bit.
Matthew?
No.
So the problem with Xbox Kinect, it's a pretty cool idea. So it's like a 3D camera that reads it basically spreads dots around, infrared dots around the room, and can scan where you are and all that. But the one that came out in 2010, the lens was too narrow. The lens was too narrow, so you had to stand like 10 feet away from the Kinect. And in an apartment like mine, I literally have to move the couch in order to use it because it requires so much space. And but the Dance Central 1 has some great songs like Benny Benassi's Satisfaction. It's got that one Pitbull song, You Know You Want Me.
I do
And
know
I
that
did,
song.
I did download a lot of DLC, so I've been trying to learn the choreography for Janet Jackson's Control. That is a tough song. The problem is most of the DLC I bought is in the difficult section, and they're not kidding. You got to move your legs and your arms at the same time a lot.
Wow.
Yep.
That's not the way of our people, Johnny.
You got to be jumping,
No.
like hopping a lot. There's a song called Poison by Belle Biv DeVoe, and it's got like the b-boy kind of dancing. That's pretty fun. Anyway, I've been getting better, and learning choreo is a lot of fun. So I've been spending 2 hours a week, I guess, something like that, learning choreo. Hour and a half a week. So that's been a big part of my my life lately. And other than going back to the office, which has been good. And I also found out that really close to the office, they just opened an improv theater that does classes and improv shows. So I think on Friday nights, when I'm back in the office on Friday nights, I'm going to take a little break and go see improv during my shift.
That's a great idea. Is that there used to be a little improv theater that was like
On Granville
there's
Island?
a bridge, and then it's on the little islandy part
Yeah.
of the bridge.
I've seen, that's the one with like, that's where, what's his name?
Colin Mockery came
Colin
up, right?
Mockery and Ryan Stiles came out of that one.
Yeah, because they have all the pictures on the wall of the ye
Yeah.
olde
Oh,
comedians.
Colin Mockery, Canadian royalty.
Mm-hmm.
And Ryan Stiles.
Oh, is he also Canadian?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's
they
fun.
both did improv at that theater.
Yeah, I think Whose Line is ending after
I think
umpteen
it
years
is,
or
yeah.
I thought
something.
it already did.
Well, it did way
No.
back in the day. The Clive
Well, yeah.
Anderson show ended, and then it moved to the United States.
I never really
been
liked
back on
the
for a
Drew
minute.
Carey version.
No, me neither. I miss Clive.
I used to watch the Drew Carey version religiously when I was a kid. I watched that shit all the time.
I remember Wayne Brady. I remember being so amazed at Wayne Brady's ability to make up songs.
Yeah, me too.
But
And
now
you
that
know
I know Vanessa, and I also know improv and kind of how they make up songs and stuff. So I definitely,
I went and saw a musical improv a few weeks ago, and they were not good at it.
Anyway, how about we flip open some pages in time for full frontal failure.
I have a piece of hot gaming news.
Oh, breaking
what
news
is
from
it?
Matt.
It's not breaking news. It's old news. I was going to bring it up last week. Did y'all hear about Justin Roiland getting kicked out of Squanch Games?
Oh yeah.
It's good.
We all,
And I mean that.
We all will no longer play High on Life or talk about High on Life.
Well, we weren't anyway. I mean, that game's time has passed.
Second in a row, though. Didn't we? What was it that we had talked about? Well, I won't dredge it up, but just to say, anytime you like anything, just remember you're going to be disappointed eventually by its creators.
The other thing was that documentary,
Right.
Channel 5 guy.
Oh yeah, I was glad to see Adult Swim, and less so, but Squanch Games, I guess. Just go ahead and cut ties with that guy. Like, that's how shit should be handled when we're not going to dive into it. The allegations and the charges that have been brought against him, but that's how that should be handled. Just get him out of there.
Actually, Matt, you do remind me, though. I did want to mention one more thing. Somebody had a very special birthday.
It was me.
It was
The birthday boy.
It was me.
It was
Happy
me.
birthday to Matt.
Happy birthday to Vanessa.
Happy
Jim, who are we supposed to
to
wish happy birthday
birthday to Vanessa.
to? We're going to wish it to
birthday,
Vanessa
dear
or
Matt.
or
Happy
Groundhog.
birthday
You
to
guys,
Vanessa.
I've been waiting for our recording time so I could give you guys your birthday spankings live on the air.
I swear to God, we made this joke last year.
No, actually, I was going to say that BioWare turned 28.
Ooh, just like Vanessa.
Just like me, one of us shares a birthday with BioWare. Is it Matt or is it Vanessa? I'll never tell.
I'll never tell.
I assume that. John, I love that bit. It's the best.
So how joyous to be celebrating BioWare in this, the 28th year of their life.
I mean, they age a year every year just like we do, so I don't know why that's surprising.
I think it's worth noting when something you cares about ages a year. Just
I think
to
it's
say,
worth
like,
noting when your favorite podcast reaches episode 350.
That means we're almost 7 years old.
Wow.
We are
Almost.
in grade 2 now, doing all your grade 2 stuff. Like,
We call that second grade in the United States.
what is that? What does that mean? What? It doesn't make any sense,
We
Jim.
refer to it as second form.
I
You
call
haven't
it
even
year
seen my
2.
final form, Jim. I mean, Matthew.
I saw a thing the other day that was like, would you rather have $10 million or go back to your 6-year-old self with all the knowledge you have now? And everyone was like, oh, I'd, play the lottery and win. I'd buy all these stocks. And I'm just like, I wouldn't do that. I would just freaking crush grade school. Like, if I was 6 years old and I swagged in there, I'd be like, guess how many letters of the alphabet I know? 24. Boom. In order.
Yeah, you should know it by that point, though. So,
Oh. I
Yeah.
don't really understand children or how they learn.
Vanessa
I get
didn't
all
go
up in
to
my
a
teacher's
normal
face.
school with grades or exams or teachers.
I'd get all up in my teacher's face and be like, a square has 4 sides, motherfucker.
Yeah. And I'd be like, hey, guess what kind of angles it has? 90 degree. Whoop, whoop, whoop,
okay,
whoop,
but at that
whoop.
point,
Those are
they
right
would
angles like me.
take you and they'd be like, this is a special gifted child, and they would put you in the smart person classes, and then you would be back to square one
Because you're not actually that
Right.
smart.
because you're not that smart.
Because I'm not actually that smart. And they'd be
I'd
like,
get to,
what's
like,
your
10th grade
multiplication
science.
tables? And I'd be like, I do not know.
Come on, anybody can do twos.
Yeah.
I'd
I
get to
can
like
do 2s
10th
and
grade
5s.
science, and they'd be like, oh no, we made a mistake.
Yeah.
Get back to elementary school.
They'd be like, you seem to have very high reading comprehension and very low ability to do anything else.
Why would I go back to my school years? Those were the worst years of my life.
Yeah, I also want nothing to do with that.
No,
It's
thank
like
you.
getting through a hard level and then you reset and you play it again and you're like,
New
now I
Game
know
Plus?
where all the enemies
New
are.
Game Plus.
New Game Plus. I want New Game Plus grade school.
All right. Maybe that could be fun. I could sass out everyone and be the smartest kid in the class. I could see some, but I'll take the $10 million. Thanks.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. All right. Full frontal failure.
You guys ready?
Where are our scores at?
All right. So the
You don't have
standings
to. I
are
don't know that we
as
need to hear the
No, we
standings.
need, let's hear 'em.
John with a commanding lead of 70 points. Vanessa in second place with 25, and Matt with 15.
Well, not so
Matt,
bad.
this is your night, buddy. I can feel it. All right, so just to recap, this is a game where I have selected. Right now it's 4. There will be a 5th game lightning round, but 4 game advertisements from an old video game magazine, and I will give you hints, and you guys will attempt to guess the game that I'm talking about. This week's games come from the September 1999 issue of Electronic Gaming Monthly.
Oh shit! I had that issue.
Oh yeah, this is the Dreamcast issue.
All right.
All right, so the first game, and this is worth 20 points if you correctly guess the game from just the tagline. This game's tagline is Infinite Monsters.
I think
Are we
Matt
buzzing
goes
in?
first,
Monsters. Oh, yeah, Matt, you're going first.
then me, then Johnny.
Yes.
Infinite monsters, huh?
Infinite Monsters.
An infinite amount?
Presumably.
1999? I might know what it is, but I don't want to swing too big here and get kicked out. So I'll just pass.
I don't know when games came out. So once again, that is sort of stymieing my ambitions here. I guess I better pass.
Okay. So there's 2 options here. Can I just talk through? I'm not guessing.
Sure.
I'm sort of, like in who, not Whose Line Is It Anyways, the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, when they sort of talk through. So there's 2 that I'm thinking here. One is Monster Rancher, because it would read off, you put in a random audio CD, and from the data of the header, I think it would generate a monster based on like the data on the header of the CD. Or it could be Evolution for the Dreamcast, which was a early randomly generated dungeon kind of game. Sort of a roguelike. Both of which had infinite... Monster Rancher had infinite monsters, and Evolution had infinite dungeons, which probably had infinite monsters in them. I'm going to say Monster Rancher. That's my final answer.
That is incorrect.
Damn it!
Ooh.
All right, let's move on to hint number 2. This is copy from the ad itself. This ad reads, as Levant, you will engage powerful monsters in deadly one-on-one combat. As the magic and talon clash of these titanic battles turns to your favor, you can call on the mystic cocoon powers and capture a fallen foe as they are on the brink of death.
There's a big hint right there, isn't there?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Matt?
Nope, I'm not first this time.
I'm out.
All right. I'm going to go with Death Cocoon.
Ooh, close.
That is incorrect.
Oh.
Matt, did you pass?
He
I
refused
am
to go first that
passing.
time.
I went first last time. It would be Vanessa this time.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm out, so it's your turn now, Matt.
Pass. Give me those 5
All
points,
right.
baby.
All right, so last hint. This is just facts about the game. The studio that developed this game was Crave Entertainment, and this game was on the PS1.
Pass.
I do know what it is. Pass.
Crave Entertainment on the PS1. Infinite Monsters, Death Cocoons. I don't have a fucking clue. I don't have a clue.
I think you just said half the name, right?
He did.
Fucking? Don't?
Yeah, fucking.
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
John, what's the game?
Jade Cocoon.
That is correct.
Jade.
Jade Cocoon.
I've never heard of the game Jade Cocoon.
I played a lot of Jade Cocoon back in '99.
Is that a
my cousin
JRPG,
had it.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can never remember if Crave
All right,
is
next.
an American or Europe or Japanese developer.
Yeah. All right, so next game. The tagline for this is "There's a new rock star in town."
New rock star in town. Okay, and this is... Am I going first on this one?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
1999, a new rock star in town. I do not know.
Is that a pass?
Yes.
John?
New rock star. It's 99, so it's too late for Aerosmith's terrible game. And they aren't new. They're from the 70s.
What if it means Rockstar like the game company?
Were they? I think they were still DMC Designs in '99. I don't think they became Rockstar until like 2000. But I'm gonna pass. DMA Designs.
Matt, do you have a guess?
No, I'm going to pass as well.
All right. Hint number 2, copy from the ad. It reads, "She's the guitar-slinging megastar of her band. Problem is, she's late for her big gig with Milk Can, her all-girl band. Save the day by jamming to rock, punk, pop, and other killer riffs."
Oh no, this is terrible because Johnny is clapping his hands in glee. So he definitely knows it, which means I have to take a guess. And I have no idea.
Milk Can. Come on. Milk Can.
Station 5?
Ooh, that's a good guess. That is a
It's
good
incorrect.
guess.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
she wasn't a guitarist. She was a
No.
reporter.
Yeah, and Space Channel 5. That's
okay.
the channel
Oh,
she
yeah.
worked for. Is it me? Jammer Lammy?
That is correct.
Yeah!
Second
another-
game I've simply never fucking heard of.
Me neither.
Never heard of Jammer Lammy?
It's
oh
the
my
sequel
gosh.
to Parappa the Rapper.
Yeah.
It's done in the same like
All right,
paper cut style.
This next ad, when I saw it in the magazine, oh man, took me back. This ad was all over these magazines in '99. The tagline reads, "An epic adventure, a timeless romance, an instant classic."
Matthew, it's an instant classic.
What was it? Read it again, Jim.
An epic adventure, a timeless romance, an instant classic.
Is it Chrono Cross?
It is not Chrono Cross. It's incorrect.
That's all I got.
Vanessa.
Do you
I
know
think
this
you know
one,
this.
Johnny?
You know this one, Vanessa. You have played this one, I'm guessing.
You're
If I'm- I
guessing,
could be
so you
wrong.
don't
I
know
could
for
be wrong.
sure.
Yeah.
How does John? Do you know what it is?
I think so. I mean, hey, I'm going to make
All right.
a wild swing. I could be totally wrong.
All right.
I
We'll
guess
see.
I'll take a wild swing too. Final Fantasy VII?
Incorrect. That was '97, right?
Johnny is clutching his head in pain.
John, what's your guess?
Is it Final Fantasy 8?
That is incorrect.
Oh. Wow.
Although, okay, so since you all struck out, I'm gonna everybody's now eligible. I'm gonna read the second clue.
Okay.
We're all back in.
All right.
Yeah, all right.
All right. So there wasn't a lot of copy with this ad, but they did list out everything that comes with this version of the game, which includes a 4-disc collector's edition, a 50 plus minutes of incredible animation, and a 100 plus page hardbound art book.
Ooh.
This was a big game back then.
Wait, sorry. Did it come with a map?
It did come with a map too. Yes.
Did it come with a? Sorry, say that. What did it come with again?
A 4-disc collector's edition, 50 minutes of incredible animation, and a 100 plus page hardbound art book, as well as a map. You got the map too.
And was there a pendant?
Okay.
Hold on.
Hang on.
Yeah, you can't.
Are we allowed to fucking guess things?
Yeah.
No.
I didn't know we could
Hold
ask
on.
Jim for more information.
There was 50 minutes of incredible animation, a 100 plus page cloth hardbound art book / instruction manual, and a full color cloth map. EGM called this game a must-buy for RPGers.
You can't just keep giving him more information. Now he knows
I'm
it's an
giving
RPG.
everybody information.
Wait,
Yeah, but
who's
Johnny
going
gets to
first?
guess first.
Do I get to guess first?
Do you?
I don't know.
Yes.
Yes.
You know what? Well, I could give it to Matt first.
No, that's not
okay.
how the goddamn
Okay.
games are played.
Is it Lunar? Lunar the Silver Star? Complete?
Yes.
Okay.
It is. Lunar Silver Star story complete.
Right.
I don't
did-
know if
I miss a word there, but does that count?
I don't know
does.
if it
That's
counts
10
that Jim
points.
gives you a little head tilt, like, huh?
I was waiting for him to
I mean, I
finish.
don't know if it counts that Jim gives you extra hints if you ask for them.
Right,
Well,
like that it's an
because-
RPG.
It was
I'm
important to
pretty
know
sure
whether
you
it
two just
came
fucking
with-
cheated at this game. This
Did
is
it-
Calvin
doesn't-
Ball.
Doesn't this ad look familiar? Look at it.
Yeah.
No.
We don't get to see the ad, Jim. How would that look?
All right. Game number 4. This one I think is gonna be. This is gonna tickle everybody. I think. The tagline is "Floor it or get out of the way."
That's Matt's turn.
Oh, floor it or get out of the way. That's, well, I guess now that we're playing a new game. Jim, does this game have cars in it?
It has vehicles. Yes.
See? You could have done that any time.
Is one of the vehicles ice cream truck driven by a clown?
No.
All right, I pass.
Jim, are the vehicles in this game open to the public?
What does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Like, is it public transportation based?
No.
Okay.
What game are you trying to reference?
Crazy Taxi. But that's not my guess.
That's a good guess.
That is a good
but
guess.
I think the Dreamcast issue would be right before the Dreamcast came out, right?
Yeah. So that's a good
Yeah.
time to, because that was a launch game. Right
Oh,
year
you're
and
right.
everything, Vanessa. So
You're right.
A+.
Thank you very much. That, however, was not my guess because Jim already cleared that answer for me. So
Thanks,
I'm going to
Jim.
pass.
Okay. Does this feature Donkey Kong characters?
No.
I like this new version of the game.
Okay, you all can ask me one clarifying question when your turn comes up. You've all done it.
Yay! Okay, is it Twisted Metal 3?
It is
Oh,
not.
no!
That is
Shoot,
incorrect.
he already said no clowns. Damn it!
What a
God.
fumble.
I was thinking the
What
other.
a
Yeah.
fumble.
Damn it!
Oh, John, GTA 2 was a Rockstar game.
Oh, so okay. Well, look, it says DMA design in the.
Well, Rockstar Games must have published, and DMA Design was the developer.
Oh, yeah, that turned into Rockstar North. You're right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So hit number 2. John is now disqualified. The ad reads, "Create custom racers and test their skills in different racing modes. High-speed racing action with blank and other blank blank stars."
Is it my turn or Vanessa?
It's Matt's turn.
But I believe it's your turn.
Jim, is this a Star Wars game?
It is not.
Fuck.
Matt's thinking. He's thinking.
Pass.
Right. Okay, I get to ask a question now. Create your own racer of other blank and blank stars. Are the other stars from blank and blank fictional characters?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it could be that WrestleMania kart game. You're right.
But do we consider wrestlers to be fictional characters?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Probably not for the purposes of this, since they are real
Yeah,
people
not
that live in the world. I didn't know there was a wrestler kart game. Oh, shit, I think I know what it is.
Is it Mario Kart?
No.
Mario Kart 5?
It is not.
Is it Mario Kart
Didn't the Donkey Kong
64?
character's question already make it not Mario Kart?
Mario Kart 64 is what I was waiting for my nod on, but it didn't come.
Matt, did you have a guess before I read the last set of hints?
Didn't I already pass? That's not how this game works, Jim. Please
All right,
stop
all right,
changing
all right,
the
all right.
rules.
All right. Hint 3.
Doesn't Johnny get a guess, too?
No, he's already
No,
out.
John's already disqualified, yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, so the studio is Squaresoft, and the genre of the game is racing.
Huh.
A Squaresoft racing game.
There's a few of those.
Is it Chocobo Racing?
That is correct.
Whoa!
5 points
right.
for Matthew.
What
Great.
a clutch
Now-
victory.
Now I'm only losing by 5 points.
All right, now I'm gonna randomly pick an ad out of here. Oh, this is good. I should have picked this one initially. Okay.
He almost showed it.
Oh, I know. The tagline for this is "Walk on the Dead Side."
Oh.
Who goes first?
It's me, and I do not know.
Are you passing?
Pass.
John.
Shadow Man.
It is Shadow Man.
That was a
Matt, have you
I
heard of Shadow
love
Man?
this game.
John. Okay.
Shadow Man is
now,
a Valiant Comics property that had a terrible game in the 90s.
I kind of liked
Did they
the
just
Shadow
do a
Man
remaster
game.
of it
You
too?
were a baby.
They did actually. Yeah.
Wasn't there also a terrible Shadow Man television show, or is that a different Valiant character I'm thinking of?
There's a bad Darkman movie. Is that what you're thinking? of?
Darkman. No, Darkman, the Sam Raimi movies.
Yeah.
Darkman 2 is not good, but the first Darkman's good.
More like Dork Man.
All right, John, you are now in the lead, still in the lead with 100 points. Vanessa, 25 points, still. Matt, 20 points.
I don't like this game, and I don't like you anymore. We are fucking fighting. Changing the fucking rules mid-game every week. God damn it.
That's the best part.
There are more guidelines than rules.
It's sort of Jim's version of Calvin Ball.
Yeah.
All right, now we can start the quest log or open the codex or whatever the hell
Yep.
we do with Mass Effect.
Codex. So happy to have you here this week, Matt. I'm going to ask Matt our traditional questions since he didn't get to answer them last time. How you playing this game? What you playing it on? What's your shepherd like?
Well, as I have already mentioned, I am playing this on the PS5. I'm playing it's on the PS Network or whatever, PS Plus, whatever it's called. It's the remaster, the new one, the trilogy.
Legendary edition.
I've mentioned in previous weeks, but I'll quickly say I have played this game before for about an hour. I bought this day one and played it for about an hour, and for some reason bounced off of it hard. And my shepherd is named Nessa Shepherd. I like to call her Vaneppered, and that made her look a bit like Vanessa. I gave you the highest, weirdest cheekbones ever.
Yeah, like my real cheekbones.
It's real strange. And I'm playing a Paragon. So somebody mentioned on Facebook that I had said when we played Mass Effect 2 to please remind me to play a female femshep Paragon Shepherd this time because I had such a bad time with the last two Mass Effects, even though I like those games. So that's what I did this time. I'm starting fresh, and that answers your question.
How are you feeling about the
Vaneppered.
difference in voice actor?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it much.
All right.
Is the femshep voice actor supposed to be like really good? She just kind of sounds like a person. Is the male shep voice actor really bad?
Yep.
No, I don't know.
I think they're both pretty wooden, but the male one is definitely worse.
The voice acting has not blown me away in this game. Mm-hmm. So if she is supposed to be so much better, I'm not saying it, but I don't know. Oh, I do remember Male Shep being pretty silly with some of his line deliveries in the older games. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite shop on the Citadel. Mm-hmm. Right?
That's this game.
Is this game?
No, that was last game.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was a Mass Effect 3 thing.
No, sir.
Huh. Well, I have an update. I restarted the game.
What?
Vanessa,
Why would you do that?
I restarted because I thought I wouldn't be able to access my old save because it was on the computer that I formatted and sent to my brother. But it turns out that the EA Origin app does cloud save all your games. So I had to download Mass Effect 2 again, and then I had to copy it from the Mass Effect 2 directory to the Mass Effect Legendary Edition directory. But I did manage to recover the Jim Banks designed Bim Janks with the face and did you see the I did update his hair to a faux hawk because before he had the George Clooney Caesar cut. Have you seen the updated Bim Janks, Jim?
No, I want to.
Oh, I tagged you in a post on the Square Roots group. You can go look at a video of me restoring that, and it's much better because first of all, I started at level 31. And it imported the if you just do the comic, everyone survives the Cerberus mission, or not the Cerberus mission, the collector base.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
But if you remember last time when I played Mass Effect 2, everybody died. Almost everybody got killed at the collector base because I purposefully made the worst decisions possible as Bim Janks, a terrible commander. And so now I have Jack is dead, Morden's dead, Grunt is dead, Rex is dead. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty different game. Dr. Chocolates is dead. So I have the doctor from France. She's a doctor of fashion from France. As the
Dr. Michelle?
Yeah, Dr. Michelle is there on the ship instead of Dr. Chocolates. So that's different. And it's much better, and I'm having a lot of fun. And I also gave Bim Janks that super gay little outfit, like that slutty top that you can wear.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So it's great. And it's a wonderful thing. And also, I forgot Bim Janks was an engineer. So I am now playing with all the drones and turrets and stuff, which are pretty weak.
Oh, sweet.
They have depowered the drones and turrets, which were overpowered in Mass Effect 2. I like overpowered drones and turrets, though.
That's disappointing.
Anyway, so that's the update. I did restart it, and I'm caught up. So thanks to you all for letting me catch up by restarting the game.
You're welcome.
So last time we were cleared of all wrongdoing. We went to Mars, met up with Liara. Caden and or Ashley fell into a terrible coma. Matt, do you have Caden or Ashley alive?
Both.
Both?
Ashley...
You can't have both
No.
alive. You had to let one of them blow themselves up with a nuclear bomb.
Who's the... I'm sorry, I'm mixing up the woman from the second game. Was that Miranda?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Caden is alive.
Wonderful. Vanessa,
Well-
I mean, Vanperd,
Vanepard.
Vaneperd wouldn't have it any other way.
Vanepard's in a relationship already.
Who's
Oh,
she seeing?
with Thane, of
that
course, right?
It's a surprise.
Liara.
Oh.
Liara.
That's
Spit
right.
take.
Yeah.
Hey, Vanepard's gay. It's not that shocking.
Yeah, Bim Jenks has not romanced anyone, although he was telling Cortez to get over it when Cortez was crying about having a dead husband. This junker.
husband's dead.
Yeah, pretty much. He's like, get over it, and I'll be there for you, by which I mean, let's make out.
Yeah. I'll help you get over it. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of making out, what's the first thing that happens when you get back from Paladin?
When you get back from Paladin, you arrive on the Normandy and some things are going awry. There appear to be some network errors. Edie is offline and there's a little fire in the server room. So you run down there. You have a couple of crew guys down there with you, and they stand on either side of the door with some fire extinguishers. And this is where the body of Ava Corey has been stored. So they're worried that her robo body might be causing trouble. So they open the doors. There's a blast of fire extinguisher smoke. Shepard holds up her gun. The smoke clears to reveal Ava Corey's body back on its feet, nice and shiny. But it's not Ava Corey. It's Edie.
Whoa. Edie's has a body now.
And a sharp bob.
She has a body
And-
of Sharp Bob.
You know she's got lots of computing power because they put two big processors on her chest. It's where she processes and stores all of her data.
And two coolant fans behind her.
Yeah, that's where all of her exhaust comes out.
Yep.
Excuse my exhaust vent.
Yeah.
And she's got like a cyber sunglasses.
Yep, she has cyber sunglasses. She's polished herself up, and she's like, "This is my mobile platform." And
And everyone sees her and is like, awooga, awooga. Ah, yeah, their tongue rolls out.
she does not stand without popping a hip out and
Well, neither do you.
look as slinky as possible.
I saw you run across the street. You were like one arm out, like da da da. Meanwhile, I had both arms up, flapping in the air.
You did. You were like, "Ah!" And I
Yeah.
was like, taking my time. Hello, Carls. You get a good look at this.
So I love
Ba ba boom.
the ED robot
What do
design
you think
'cause
of
it's
these
like
headlights?
it's like classic 50s sci-fi book cover kind of robot, and I think I really like how retro throwback futurism it is. I think it looks
Yeah, it
really
reminds
cool.
me of like an Outer Worlds robot. Remember Outer Worlds? Like that kind of like Art Deco robot.
Outer
Yeah, I
Wilds?
like her too, actually.
Worlds.
Huh?
Like the one with the Spacer's Choice and all that?
Yeah.
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 They had like old school looking robots. No.
I want to do the DLC to that game. It's supposed to be pretty
I
good.
just re-downloaded that game to my Xbox today. It's still on Game Pass.
Yeah. Well, it's owned by Microsoft.
I did the
now.
DLC. It was fun. It's a good game. A little short, but hey.
Yeah.
Well, you can't. It's trying to be a Skyrim, but you can't put buckets on people's heads. Once again.
Yeah. And you can't romance anyone like that dreamy vicar.
So what do you think of the ED design, Vanessa?
I'm okay with the ED design, actually. I rather famously, and by famously I mean tonight before the show, was talking to you guys about how uncomfortable Miranda's design makes me, not because I mind the sexualization, but because I can't help but imagine how uncomfortable it would be to wear her pants every time I see them. Like, I don't look at them and think that's sexy. I look at them and think that wedgie is something you're going to be feeling for a while.
She was genetically engineered to be wedgie resistant.
Yeah, maybe that's part of it. And she must not fart either. Because
Oh yeah.
farting in a thong is just not fun. I don't know.
Is she wearing a thong?
Well, she must be.
I mean,
because her pants are a
robo-thong.
thong, essentially.
No, not Edie. She's talking about Miranda.
Miranda.
What do you think of Edie's design, Matthew?
It feels like something out of the wet dream of a bunch of 90s programmers.
It reminds me of like Sid Mead art. You know, like that kind of 70s style. I love it. I think it's really cool.
I think it's gross. I think it's fucking gross that this AI is a sex bot now. I think it's fucking gross.
You know that as soon as humanity makes AIs, sex bots is going to be the first thing they do. Maybe the second thing after military action.
I told Eric, I've said on the podcast many times, I want to die by my Zangief robot accidentally giving me a spinning pile driver.
Okay.
I
I think
watched
it's
that movie
shitty
about
design.
Dan Stevens being a sex bot. I need to see that.
A sex bot?
Yeah,
There's a Dan Stevens sex bot movie?
it's in German and it's called
Oh.
I'm Your Man. It's about him being a sex bot for some German lady.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I also like Edie's design. It makes me super horny, and every time I see her, I can't help but think, I hope I don't jack off.
Well, this game, Mass Effect 3, did famously have that advertising campaign where it said you won't last 5 minutes without coming when you're playing this game.
It also had that ad that keeps coming up that says, if you own a mouse, you will love this game.
Hot bot.
Hotbot. Yep. Mass
Hotbot.
Effect
It
3
also is
colon
creepy that
Hotbot.
it's also super creepy that Joker's been like really into ED this whole time, and now she's got a hot robo-sex body for him.
Now,
And all
so
of her
Matthew,
interactions make my skin crawl.
yeah,
Does she have a robot orifice?
I don't think so.
I'm guessing.
Like a what would a robot call it? Like a sex
Fleshlight.
port. Here's my penis docking station.
I'm
Now,
not sure Joker could do that with his condition. Anyway.
well, she could be gentle.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't think that
he can
would do well.
email his jizz into
Can
her
email
vagina.
his jizz
If
to her.
you go to the Citadel anytime after this, Joker will say that he is using her as his like mobility aid robot, and that's
Yeah.
his
Oh, do you think
excuse
she
for having-
carries him around? That'd be great.
She does. She doesn't, as far as I know. But he's just sitting on a bench. He's not walking around.
Yeah, he's claiming she's a mobility aid robot so that she's able to go anywhere with him.
Yeah, and
I guess she has a mouth. That's an orifice.
She does, and weird looking eyes. It always looks like one of her eyes is kind of pointing the wrong way, which makes me laugh. So the first thing, if you talk to Joker, because she decides to go sit up next to Joker, and he's like, "Oh, I just loving the view here." He's like the worst coworker in the world. He's like, "Yeah, there's a good pair of tits next to me now, so I'm gonna be the happiest pilot." Oh, check out her operating system. I
feel like it's worth noting. We did touch on this last week, but Edie does have thigh gap.
It's true.
Is that worth noting?
It was a big thing in 2012. Everyone was like photoshopping thigh gaps. We talked about that last time.
Right.
So the thing is, and hope you don't mind me
Beauty
jumping
trends
around.
are so weird. Have you heard about how ladies are having their cheeks removed these days?
What?
What?
Cheek?
No, don't
Like
even.
their butt
I don't want
cheeks?
to hear about it.
All right.
Like these?
Wait, butt cheeks or face
No,
cheeks?
cheeks. Buccal fat removal.
Why? You get your little chubby cheeks.
Yeah, look it up. It's the hot thing.
Gross. So I talked to Edie on the Citadel afterwards, and she's like, well, first, Joker, like, literally just sexually harasses her. The second she comes out, all he can do is talk about how hot she is. And I was like, okay, this is making me really uncomfortable. And then I talked to Edie, and she's like, I would like to pursue romantic relationship, but I don't know if Joker is interested. Now, there's a 33.3% chance he is into me based on making jokes all the time. So I'm wondering, should I pursue this? And I'm choosing all the renegade options. So I was like, you don't know what you're doing. You're in over your head. You should just give up. And I thought that was like a jokey kind of bitchy thing Shepard says. But then she says, okay, romantic protocols disengaged.
Wow.
Oh no!
How could you do that to
ruin
Joker?
Joker's life?
I have destroyed Joker. Did any of you get into that conversation with her?
Yes,
I haven't.
I did, and I encouraged her to go for it.
Yeah, me
At
too.
least she's as into him as he's into her. But his opening comments are like weird for 2012. That he
Yeah.
could just be like,
What did he say?
He's just like, Vanessa, what does he say? He's just going on about how hot she is, right?
Yeah, he does say that the view is great, and later she says that Joker told her that she has to stay in the cockpit for crew morale. And so she's like, so I'm just going to stay up here now and not go back to my room. And it's pretty gross. But Joker isn't the only one who's into Edie, because the
Samantha
PA
Trainer.
Yeah, Samantha Trainer is into her as well. She thinks she has
Yeah.
a sexy voice.
I'm thinking we should get Edie like a frumpy frock, just so that everyone's not quite so distracted. Even though
Yeah.
it's not her fault. I'm not. You know what? I kind of maybe not, because that is
Yeah.
saying like she shouldn't dress
That's
dress
true.
sexy
Well, she doesn't
because
dress in
people can't
anything.
control.
She doesn't have
yeah.
any clothing.
But I was thinking, like, if you dressed her like Esther from Orphan, like no one would hit on her.
I don't think that's true, Johnny, unfortunately.
Oh.
Yeah, so now we have Edie, and we can bring her with us on ground missions, which is fun.
Well, except that Bim Jenks is an engineer and she has all the same powers as him, so it's kind of
Yeah,
worthless
I
to bring
like
her.
having her in combat. It's nice to have her little drones and stuff. She does really, really well. And I like her warp ability. She has the ability to like instantaneously move across the battlefield and rush people. Mm-hmm. And that's helpful.
And she can make a little double of herself to distract enemies.
The problem is that she duplicates a lot of Bim Jenks' abilities. I also, since I started at level 31, I decided to set the combat on hard, which maybe was a mistake, because like at the end of Palaven, I died like 14 times. I know Matthew had a similar problem somewhere around here. And I think the game like feels sorry for you if you die a lot, and then will drop one of those super powerful weapons. Like it dropped like a Reaper cannon, and it destroyed those two big monsters that
the
drop
big
on
brutes.
Yeah, it just melted them in one shot. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I think the game just started feeling sorry for me because I died so many times.
I think it does that, but then it also sends a little message back to BioWare with your like gamer handle and just like a lol symbol next to it.
Aw,
Yeah.
the doctors will know that I'm bad.
Yeah.
Matt, what was the part that you were getting stuck on?
I don't know if it's from this one, but there was a Reaper monster bat thing, and it just fucking murdered me forever. Ugh. It's terrible. I still don't particularly love the combat in these games, to be honest with you. I hate that when you go into a combat mission, it forces you into that over-the-shoulder perspective, but you still have to like walk around and interact with the world. It's garbage. Also, not a fan of who's messaging us? Oh, it's Jim.
It's Jim.
Also, not a fan of the hide behind the walls tactics of these types of games. Just not
Oh my
something
god,
I care for.
Jim! I guess that's her supplemental port there.
Oh. Okay, see you guys. I'm out of here.
It's because we have like the super deluxe version. It does come with all the alternate outfits you can dress your characters in. Like you can give Edie some crazier glasses. You can give James this like suit that looks like Batman's stupid armor suit. Mm-hmm. I did dress him in that because it's dumb looking.
I did put Edie in the sluttiest costume that they had, just because I was like, this is what Joker wants.
Yeah. Might as well lean into it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's
All
no
right.
law against putting a skin on your computer.
So this week, this chunker, we're doing the Return to Eden Prime, Grissom Academy, and Sir Kesh. So I did go to Eden Prime, and this is a very short mission. See, I had a problem with a lot of like the side content in this game, where it's the repurposed multiplayer maps that they've kind of added a couple of role-playing objectives to, but they're all like 50 feet within each other. Like there's
that
no
what they are? That's why they're so weird.
Yeah, all those N7 missions are multiplayer maps, and like the ones with waves of enemies that you have to fight.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Yeah, I don't know if Eden Prime is. It's just a really small level. Like it's
It's
just
a DLC.
Yeah, that's true. But it was like the one that came with the game when I got it. I don't know.
Oh, is it like a day one DLC?
No, it was one of those things. I think it was like it was either because I got the super, because I did get the digital deluxe or the physical deluxe version when it came out, but I can't remember if that just remember in the early 2000s to stop used game sales, they would give you like DLC codes that could only be used once, so you couldn't resell those.
Yeah.
They still do
that's
that.
I think that's what he is.
Yes. Okay, interesting.
He seems like such a sort of essential part of the game, but I guess he's not.
I've played through this game like, I don't know, 2 times in the last year, and whenever I do this Eden Prime mission, I always get lost. There's a point where you have to like make your way back to this platform and take the long way around, and I get lost. I have no clue where to go. It's so easy to get like I don't know. It's very confusing. This level is not designed very well.
No, because there's a part where you have to go down and it looks like an edge of the map, but you just have to walk forward and drop, and that's how you get there. I had the same issue for instance. I was like, oh, how am I supposed to get there? And then, I just walk, because I was looking around.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's stupid. If this was real life, you could just walk down there. It's like, oh, I can't just walk down there. So the Cerberus has returned to Eden Prime, and they were excavating something, or I guess they took over an excavation, and there's a Protheon artifact that had been found that was super important, and Liara is very fascinated. I think she has to be part of this crew. Because she's obsessed. So you find pretty much immediately, you like press a button on an elevator and their artifact just pops up in front of you.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a Star Trek coffin. It's a black kind of rounded Star Trek coffin. And she's like, oh my God, there's a real live Protheon in this Star Trek coffin. And then smash cut to, I guess 50,000 years ago when the invasion was happening. And there's an AI called Victory that this Prothean's talking to. And he's like, all right, we got to get everyone into their pods. We got to come back later because we're all going to die. So we'll wait till the next cycle. And
yeah, they're in this big facility that's only like stasis pods.
Yeah.
And it's referenced that there's only like 1 million Protheon left. And that they're mostly inside of these stasis pods in this facility.
It's the very end of the Reaper War.
Now, I guess Shepard's getting these flashbacks when he touches the pods, and we'll find out more about why this is happening. But there's also... Oh, or no, those are videos that you see, but only he can see it. So we need 2 things to open up this pod. We need instructions on how to open it, and then the like unlock signal code. And they're like, well, those must be in these 2 buildings that are next to us, so let's go walk through them. But as you do, you start getting invaded by Cerberus jerks, and the turrets keep showing up, and they are super annoying. There's shield guys and turrets, and both of them are very annoying.
Yeah, there needs to be a better way. I mean, I'm assuming later in the game it'll be easier, but there needs to be a better way to deal with these things other than just sitting there and firing 700 rounds.
I like... whenever I see shield guys is when I remember to... my character class has the armor-piercing ammo as, like, the built-in power, the default power. So just flick on those armor-piercing rounds, and those guys just melt.
And you can also...
My character class has a power that drains people's shields or biotics.
Ooh.
And also... And I think that was a bonus power that I chose, because you can... unlock bonus powers by making good friends with people. And then she also has warp, which cuts through armor. So if they're shielded and armored,
warp.
I drain them up, I warp them out, and then I make them float, and then I throw them away with my throw.
Is warp the one where you just like... It's like shooting a blue thing at them? And it just does damage?
Yeah.
It's like a projectile?
Yeah.
I like that. I use that power too, and it's really useful against the mechs and the Centurion guys.
I have one move that will just delete everyone's shields pretty much, like usually in one hit. And then I can use my cryo beam at them and freeze them, and then they'll explode if I shoot another warp at them. I also make sure I only have 3 guns, so I can use my powers very quickly over and over again. One strategy with the shield guys and the turrets is to you can use the D-pad to tell people to flank them, and so that they're shooting. But I do find, especially on hard, your teammates get down so quickly that it can be tricky.
I like shooting the shield guys too, because you can shoot them through their little eye hole slots, and if you do it enough times, then you get a little achievement.
Ooh.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I also
you kill, I think it's like 9 or 10 of them by shooting through their little mail slots, then you get a fun little achievement.
Nice. Unfortunately, all my achievements are through the EA app, so I can't brag about them. There's also, if you go to the Citadel medical facility, you can buy more metagels, which is super useful. Like, so now I have 6 metagels instead of the usual 3, because my teammates get killed so often.
The only, like I said that I like having Edie in the party, and I do, but I think she is more prone than other characters to getting downed.
Her and Liara are both.
Yeah, because I think because she has that ability where she can rush people, that teleport ability. She does it a lot, and she always teleports right into the middle of where there's a bunch of bad guys and gets shot.
I was using Edie and Javik a lot, and Javik was the one that kept going down for me.
Once you get Javik, you do get a Protheon particle assault rifle. That is,
I hate that gun,
but it's super powerful to put on your other team members.
I like it.
Oh, interesting. I never did that. I always use that same rifle, the Raptor, whatever it is, the one that's got like burst fire. I use that assault rifle a lot. And there's a DLC gun you get that basically has infinite ammo. Later in the game, I use that one a lot. Yeah.
I've been just using a shotgun and rushing people, even though I'm an engineer, and that's more. What's the class that's Vanguard's the class that's supposed to play like that? But it's just super easy, even on hard. Like you can walk up to people and just shoot them with a shotgun, and as long as they don't have any shields, they're dead in one hit. So
I never use shotguns just because I think the rate of fire is too low.
I think your rate of fire is too low, Banks.
Yeah.
This whole damn system's rate of fire is too low.
I'm an SMG man.
So you have to go through. It's all those turrets. Those turrets are the worst part. Is that a word you make fun of me for saying? Turret?
No.
Okay.
We don't make fun of you for saying words anymore. We've changed.
Oh, the warp ability is really good against turrets.
Okay. And if you kill the engineers, because the engineers will replenish the shields and health on the turrets.
I feel like the engineer enemy is kind of broken because anytime you shoot him while he's attempting to set up a turret, he just explodes.
Well, he's got a backpack that explodes, so if you shoot that will kill him.
But like if you attack him at all while he's doing the animation for building a turret, the turret explodes and he dies.
Oh,
so
nice.
if you can catch him in that little like animation, then you can kill them pretty fast.
So you find two computers. The first one, and both of them give you that little cutscene. The first is with him talking to Victory, and then the next one is him.
They're like falling back in the facility.
Yeah.
And they mention that the Reapers are there and the facility's been compromised and they lost 300,000 pods. Mm-hmm. And Javik's like, that's a third of our people.
Because this is like the last stand, I guess, for the Protheans. And so he goes into the pods and the VI is like, hey, just so FYI, I've prioritized your energy. So right now I'm only keeping 500 pods online, but the longer we wait, the longer it's going to be. It's going to be just you if we have to wait too long for the next cycle's intelligent people to find you. And Javik's like, this sucks.
Yeah, he's like, I want to be all the Protheon.
So you will wake up once you get the codes and then do like one more round and have to fight a mech. I just you like you can get the mech stuck so easily, like trying to get inside a building. I just did that and then just shot it.
I did that too. Yeah, if you run up into those buildings, it will just like stop in front of the steps and just stay there.
So I blowed up that mech pretty easily, and then you wake up Javik. Well, Vanessa, why don't you talk about waking up Javik?
Yeah, let's talk
you said
about
he sucks.
Javik. Yeah, Javik is an asshole. He blows and nobody likes him. He looks, I guess, a little bit insectoid, and he has 4 eyes, like a real 4-eyed nerd. Mm-hmm. He has hourglass-shaped pupils.
He does look like the Harvester guy from
he
last
looks
game.
like Harvester. Because we learned in Mass Effect 2 that those were Protheans who had been sort of genetically manipulated and indoctrinated. And he's a real asshole. You wake him up and he first tries to fight you. Then he calms down. He asks how long he's been asleep. He calls you stupid primitive races. He's like, humans suck, and there's an Asari, gross. Bleh. He says that his species had very special paragons that sort of embodied different traits, like wisdom.
They were like concepts.
Yeah.
Like they would take on, what do you call them? Like avatar. They were avatars that represented specific
like
concepts that were important in their culture. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so he's the avatar of vengeance now.
Oh, what a nerd. God.
I do like when he's talking about the Solarians, and he's like, they used to eat flies.
Yeah.
And then somebody says something else, and he's like, but they ate flies. Mm-hmm. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah. He sucks. He's lame.
Well, like let's also the Protheans really sucked because Javik explains that he's like any culture or any race that we deem to be, worthy, we invited them to be Protheans, and any race that accepted, we were all Protheans. And then I think it's Liara who's like, what if they didn't want to? And he's like, then they killed them, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, Liara is super starstruck at the idea of meeting a real live Prothean, and he quickly disavows her of this idolatry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think I thought that was an interesting twist, like making them militaristic and like, colonists,
Right.
essentially. I thought that was interesting, but it doesn't make for a likable character.
No. And she sort of talks about how, but the Protheans had art and things like that, and he explains that he was born like after the Reaper's initial invasion, because it took a century for them to basically harvest all of the Protheans. So his whole life has been this terrible war and slaughter. So I guess that explains his jerkish attitude to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He does find things going on the ship amusing. He is kind of the Data, like, fish out of water character.
I like how he sorry.
No, go ahead.
I like how he is amused by the humans and the Turians and whatnot having evolved and taken over. He's like, y'all were fucking monkeys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Like,
the
y'all were
Asari
barely-
can read now?
Yeah. Well, we like humans used to live in a cave, You live in a cave, idiot. Which
He does
I feel
kind of
like-
have that ice cold 7-Up guy voice.
Yeah.
He has it's like a sort of, it's almost like an
Caribbean?
accent from someone from like the Caribbean.
Yeah. Which is fine. I mean, whatever. Like, aliens don't speak with English accent. I mean, who knows? Maybe they do in
Yeah.
real life. But
For
it's
once,
fine.
I want there to be a super advanced alien species that speaks like a Cajun person.
I guess if I went to sleep for 50,000 years and woke up and, I don't know, house sparrows were like, we are the noble house sparrow race. Like, we're amazing. We're the most advanced race. I would be like, bird.
Waking up 50,000 years in the future and you're the only one of your race, that's a real opportunity to reinvent yourself. I think I would affect an accent and just say that's how everybody in my
I'd start
time period
wearing
talked.
a leather jacket.
Yeah.
Be a leather jacket guy. So you take him back, he agrees to help you out because he's like, well, what else am I going to do? If you guys are going to kill the Reapers, then I'm in. He does install a hand washing station in his room, where he just kind of puts his hands in all the time. He also explains the Protheans he explains about the beacon, which is fun, how that works. And he was surprised that we were not advanced enough to understand the message. And that's why that's a failure of this cycle, that they didn't understand the full message. It was all garbled, and that they imbue touch into things like a sense memory. And that's how they were communicating.
Yeah, and that's why he has to wash his hands all the time, because everything he touches on the ship, he picks up trace DNA that then conveys emotion and things like that.
Mm-hmm. He remembers that Grunt was in the room that he's in, and he's like...
Yeah, he says he feels anger or something, right? Mm-hmm. Something like that.
So
yeah,
he is
goes
now...
where Jack used to be, and he's like, someone here sucked too.
Speaking of Jack,
she does suck.
the next place that we got to go is we get Samantha Trainer's like, there's a Alliance signal from Grissom Academy, and right now it's saying there's a ship that's saying it's helping them, but I think that signal is faked because she's real good at signal analysis. So she's like, let's go check it out because I think that there's a problem, and it's actually Cerberus. Rating Grissom Academy.
Yep. So we head out there. We get a little phone call as we arrive from a lady named Kaylee Sanders, who I think is the director of the academy. And
That's
she's
Jim's
like,
sister, right? That's Jim's sister?
Kaylee Sanders, yes.
Yeah.
Sanders is, of course, her married name.
Right, yeah.
Or as we like to call her, the good twin. Because everyone knows there's one good and one evil in every pair.
Jim is the evil twin.
Yeah, we watched The Good Son just to learn about how there's always an evil twin.
Yep, that's exactly what that movie's about.
Twins.
Twins. Elijah Wood and Macaulay Culkin are twins.
Yep. So Kaylee says that Cerberus has taken over the academy, and they do some fancy flying to Joker does some fancy flying to distract the ships around the station, and meanwhile Cortez pilots the shuttle in sneakily.
Sneak. And inside, we meet up with Kaylee, and she's like, yeah, I'm hiding here in the command center. I'll open the door for you and then kind of talk you through as I watch you over the cameras.
She'll be the radio buddy.
Yep. We make our way through, and you can come across a couple of students who are either scared or being held by Cerberus, and you can help them or not, as is your particular inclination. I, of course,
Well,
help
Ben
them out
Jenks
because I'm a
will
good girl.
Help them out just because he likes killing people.
Oh, he likes killing the bad guys. What about the girl who was just, cowering by herself?
She's the sister of the other guy. They're brother and sister.
Yeah. The first guy you come across, he's like, my sister's here somewhere. She's not cool like me.
You're like, shut up, I'll find her. And then she's like 50 feet away.
Yeah.
She's in the same room, I think. It's like around the corner.
And I did find a data pad that was like, get the boy if you can. His sister probably sucks, but, we don't care about her. She's not as cool as him.
Is that Pringles?
No.
Oh, okay.
Pringles?
Pringles.
Yeah, Pringles, the main character of this section.
So then we arrive in Orion Hall, where the majority of the students are locked down, and they're being looked after by John. What?
Ensign Pringles. Ensign Pringles. He's a red-haired boy. He's kind of a Archie to the rest of the Bettys and Veronicas of this. And he's like, I don't know
John
what's
probably
happening
doesn't
here.
have.
Yep.
Okay, John has boring character stand-in Mr. Pringles.
Yeah.
Whereas the
wonderful.
rest of us who are good at the game meet or reunite with our good buddy Jack. The psychotic biotic, as she's called in this chapter.
Yep.
Oh, ew, that's so bad.
Jack, the psychotic biotic herself. She's changed a little bit since the events of Mass Effect 2. For one thing, she has a job now as a teacher.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about his shirt.
I am. She
Okay.
has a little bit of hair, but not a full head of hair. And she has kind of a shirt. Before, she just had a bikini top. Now she has a bikini top that has some additional straps and things like that attached to it. So she's trying. She's working her way to full shirt town.
Before she
Her
just had
dialogue
straps, right?
Yeah, she did. It was like straps over her body. Her dialogue in this is fucking awful. It it's like it was written by like an 8th grader.
Oh, tell me about it, because I haven't experienced it in 11 years.
So she's like mentoring these young biotics, and there's one that she picks on whose name is Rodriguez, and she's like, Rodriguez, you need to like be tough, take your balls out of your purse, and there's all kinds of like weird, like emasculating. It's very
I thought that was very
bad.
weird. Again, especially for a future game. It's like it doesn't make sense in the future that there would be that kind of like gendered insult going around.
Yeah, and that's all she has are gendered insults about having balls and taking your balls out of your purse and balls.
There's a real 2023 oh no moment where the ship was Edie was complaining that Javik didn't know how gendered bathrooms work. I'm like, why is there gendered bathrooms? The year's like 2180. Come on.
One thing about the Dead Space remake that has certain terrible people complaining is that all of the bathrooms are like they're not gendered.
They're just
so
shit
like
stations.
Multi-gen. It's just there are bathrooms and they're for all genders, and gosh, people are in an uproar about that.
What, have they not watched Starship Troopers?
Had like a gender neutral bathroom in the 90s.
So did Starship Troopers.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
Starship Troopers had co-ed showers, man.
Yeah. Like, everybody just bring your bits. Whatever. It's fine.
We all got subjected to seeing Jake Busey in the shower in Starship Troopers.
And what's her name? Denise Richards.
I don't think she was in a shower scene, but that other lady was. The one who played Diz.
Denise Richards is not in a shower scene in that movie.
That's
I
wild.
apologize.
Diz was. You got to see Diz, Jugs.
My brother's copy of Wild Things was worn out around that.
So Jack, despite her gendered insults, genuinely cares for these children and wants your help getting them out. Or I guess Captain Pringles wants your help getting them out.
Ensign Pringles, and he's like, oh, gee whiz, guys. I guess we gotta fight some Cerberus here.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah, I had Ensign Pringles as well.
Yeah.
I like that when they're like worn out, Jack tells him this. I assume Pringles does too. When it's like, all right, everybody take a break, drink some juice, eat some fruit snacks.
Yep.
Like,
Well, Ensign Pringles is like, okay, well, we need to, like, biotic powers consumes a lot of energy. Basically consume like 3 days worth of calories fighting them off. So we need to eat something so we can have
I
powers.
do think that's a neat little detail, though. The fact that they need to like refuel because they're burning so many calories
Like
using
the
their powers.
Flash.
Jack Jack must be dead in mine, but I see in the notes here that Vanessa posted a picture of New Jack.
New Jack City.
I don't believe that even in the far future you would let your teachers walk around in these fucking clothes. Give me a fucking break.
I like the real, it's kind of like a prissy polka dotted black blouse she's wearing.
It's like studded.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like a
studded?
leather,
Oh, I
leather
thought it was-
jacket.
Oh, it looks like a polka dot blouse in the shrunken thumbnail. Sorry, I didn't see her. It was just Ensign Pringles for me.
Right. She's following the Emma Frost school of appropriate teacher.
You know,
wear.
Matt, I'm sorry if what Jack is wearing offended you. Maybe you need to take your balls out of your purse.
Alrighty. I'll do that. Hang on just a moment. Let me grab my purse.
Oh no.
Oh, your ball
Oh, here
purse,
they
otherwise
are.
known as your scrotum.
It's not a purse, it's a sock.
Here they are. What am I supposed to do
All
with
right,
these?
so we have to
put them back
protect
in.
these kids. That's pretty much all you do in this chunker is protect
Yeah,
these little kitties.
I like this. I thought it was a fun
Yeah.
mechanic. So you're
I
going
liked
through
the kids, but I hated this mission in this fucking school.
I liked
all
it.
its samey
It's very
rooms.
X-Men.
Oh, it's very samey. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You know,
That's true.
I think this is when they introduce, but maybe they did before. I think this is when they introduce jetpack bad guys that just, you'll kill off the bad guys and then a bunch of people will jetpack in around you.
Yep, they were dropping
Yeah.
from the ceiling, and then a mech was dropping, but then you get mech on mech action, which was amazing. However, before that, you
get
do run
some
into
hot mech on mech.
a student. She's maintaining a barrier, and she doesn't trust us. And since everyone Bim Janks has ever met dies, no one could vouch for me there. However, I did ask, who is it? I guess Javik or was it Javik and Edie? Maybe I got Edie to just turn off the barrier. Maybe Liara. But yeah, someone just zapped the barrier, and they're like, okay, anyway, you were saying, and she's like, don't kill me. We're like, we're not killing you. We're trying to help you, dum-dum.
In my case, David Archer was there. David Archer, everyone's favorite Mass Effect character, the autistic boy who was subjected to body horror in the Mass Effect 2 DLC.
Oh.
I like the beginning of this scene because when you enter this room where Cerberus is like right outside of that barrier, the Cerberus guys are like shit talking the students. They're like, "Oh, that's a really nice barrier you got there.
Yeah.
It'd be a shame if somebody shot it."
Vanessa, what was the bad ending for that DLC? Did I send him to become like a war machine?
Yeah.
Oh,
At the end
okay.
of that DLC, you can either send him to be a war machine, or you can send him to the academy to sort of recover from his trauma.
So he must be a war machine. I haven't encountered that yet. I wonder if that'll come back. But yeah, next is some mech combat. And is there more mech combat in this game, or is this the only instance of mech combat? Oh, look at Chungus go.
I think there's more.
I didn't get to fight in a mech here.
You did.
Yeah, you move through a room and there's a broken mech that you can climb into and pilot.
I moved through a room and there was a broken mech and I could not get into it.
I definitely
you have to stand directly in front of it, like touching it, in order for the prompt to come up to drive it.
Yeah, maybe I just didn't hit the prompt
It's super.
right.
If you do get to drive it, it's super easy because it's got these missiles that just kill everything in one hit. It's real good.
And I don't know, like I'm playing this on just regular difficulty, but I find that even if my aim isn't like, you can have an 80% accuracy and the missiles will still hit your hit your target. Like it's almost like heat seeking kind of.
Yeah.
Like they'll go straight and then as soon as they get close to an enemy, they'll divert and go to that enemy.
I don't mind this game.
Yeah, me
I'm
either.
not playing this game for the combat, even if I set it to hard. And that was fun. I liked. So it's just a few waves of enemies. You're trying to make sure the student's biotic shield doesn't get worn down while they prep the shuttle.
Oh, right, yeah. One thing about this game, I meant to mention this on the last episode, but anytime there's like Cerberus waves and they're dropping in from like a dropship, if you just basically run to where the dropship is, kill the enemies, you can just kill them as they drop from the dropship. It makes it very easy.
Yeah, I like doing that. I like putting down a singularity where they're dropping down. So they drop out and then they just immediately like float in the air like, "Ooh."
So everyone's running for the shuttles, except that Rodriguez, I guess, has fallen behind somewhere, and Ensign Pringles is like, we gotta go find Rodriguez! So he runs after her, and then heroically does take her in there, but he does get totally zapped by a Cerberus thing. She's alive, but Rodriguez is alive, but Ensign Pringles died so she could live.
Ensign
Wow.
Pringles.
No.
R.I.P. Mr. Pringles.
I was kind of thinking that Mr. Ensign Pringles might replace Jack for me, but no.
Nope, he's not a main character.
In my game, Jack is the one who runs to save Rodriguez, and Jack does survive.
Yeah.
What?
Hops onto the shuttle, Rodriguez and all, but she won't join us on the ship because she wants to take care of her little baby boos.
Yeah.
But she does say basically, So they can either go to the front lines and fight as frontline soldiers, I guess, or they can be support and do barriers and stuff like that.
And
That's up
Kaylee's
to
like,
you.
they shouldn't be soldiers because they aren't trained for it yet. But I chose the bad option. I was like, no, they're going to the front line. Sorry. No, they're going to the front lines, those woke moralists.
I like this scene on the shuttle because the first thing Jack does is offer to buy her students a round of tattoos, which I thought was funny.
She's like, we're all getting inked.
Ink. There's some ink for everyone.
Yep. And you also take Kaylee Sanders with you, and Kaylee Sanders is like, you know Admiral Anderson, right? Tell him I say hi. Wink. So that's that.
Yeah, she's super into Anderson.
She is. And you can...
So even if you have Jack survive in Mass Effect 2, there's like a timer on this mission, right? If you don't do it in a certain amount of time or before you complete a certain amount of story missions, Jack is not there.
Oh,
I
really?
didn't know that.
Oh, maybe that's
I
what happened
believe
with
so.
Matt?
Maybe.
Yeah, if you wait too long to do this mission, I don't think Jack is there. But
I mean, I did it this chunker. This feels really early in the game. I did it before the diplomatic mission.
Oh,
I did it.
interesting. Yeah.
I did it. I may have done it immediately after I got it. So I don't think that's what happened with me.
I thought I read that if you do the comic, some random characters survive and some don't.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, Morgan's
Oh,
alive in
weird.
mine, but Jack I have not seen at all.
All right. Well, last priority here is Surkesh, because you go meet with the Krogan, Turian, and Solarian leaders, and the Krogan, of course, being Erdnot Reeve, everyone's favorite Krogan tyrant.
Yeah, again, in my game it was Erdnot Rex from the first game and the second game. Your good old pal.
Yeah, I have Rex.
Of course, the conditions that the Krogans want in order to help save the Turian homeworld is they want to have a cure for their genocidal genophage, which seems like a reasonable request, but the game's like, are you sure you want to do that? Because you know that they'll just overpopulate again. Like, what the hell are you I'm still mad about the game forcing you to disagree with the genophage being cured like 2 games ago.
Yeah.
That was a weird swing.
Well, in Mass Effect 1, you're like, Saren is working on the cure, but he sucks too much to let us try to cure it.
I was really antagonizing towards the Solarian guy. I was like, shut up! We're curing the Krogans and we'll worry about the results of that later. And but Reeve was real mad. I guess that I'd thrown away the cure in Mass Effect 2 or something. I don't know. He was real pissed at me.
Oh, yeah. So Mass Effect 2, Morden's old colleague is working on a cure, and we can either encourage Morden to keep it or to delete the data or things like that.
I totally deleted all that data because I'm a bad guy.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
In fact, it's that whole thing that leads into this, because when Morden's colleague was doing these experiments, he had some Krogan women who were helping him out, and he did manage to make some of them fertile. But the Solarians went in after you were there and kidnapped them, essentially, abducted them, and took them to the Solarian homeworld of Surkesh. And Rex wants them back.
Yeah, that seems like a weird move there, but apparently they were all dying, and the reason that the Solarians brought them there was to save their lives.
That's what they say.
So I did bring Liara as well, and I brought Javik because I thought he could have interesting thoughts on this stuff. He doesn't really. He has a couple of sassy lines. He Because Reeve is like, we won't forget that you're the one who tried to keep the cure from us. And Javik says, well, we won't forget that you're the one making threats at us.
Yeah, I had some good banter between Rex, Liara, and Garrus. First of all, Rex was saying to Liara, oh, there's no one I'd rather have by my side, going down there, Liara. Thanks so much for coming. And Garrus is like, hem. And Rex is like, I said what I said. But in a joking kind of way. And then
Now,
the best part, though, is that Rex starts saying, they're talking about how Rex found out that this female Krogan was here. He's like, oh, I have a source on the inside. But it's really surprising to me that the shadow broker didn't know that this was happening. And it would be really great if only I was friends with the shadow broker and they had this information like the shadow broker should have. Liara's just like, well, maybe the shadow broker doesn't know everything.
that's a good bit. I missed all that. So this Reeve, unlike the other substitute characters, is really different than Rex. He is going to be a bad leader of the Krogans, and they emphasize that he sucks. So that I find that they did put a lot of time into Reeve's dialogue versus Rex's dialogue. Although a lot of the stuff they do is the same. Like, they're really mad about everything and just focused on getting the ladies back. But we'll talk more about that in a minute. But so when you get there, you're going to land on the base, but there is a they're warning you that you do not have permission to land, and Shepard's like, well, we're going to land anyways, and you drop onto the landing pad, and Reeve just busts open that door. He's like, you guys are delaying. He jumps down, stomps on a Solarian, and then gets all these laser sights on him.
Same thing happens to Rex.
Yeah, Rex
does the same thing.
Yeah.
I like, although they're like, oh no, you don't have permission to land, and Rex has some pretty terrible dialogue where he's like, see if you can stop a Krogan air launch. He jumps off the ship, and it's like, you didn't do anything special. You just jumped off the ship.
Yeah, Reeve doesn't say anything. He just says, I'm getting out of here, and knocks open the door. So then the music swells as Paddock Wick walks in. The dramatic reveal.
Yay! Paddock Wick!
Yay!
And who's that?
He's not Morden.
A stand-in character.
I love that they have the music swelling as if it's the reveal of your old friend.
It's like in a Marvel movie where you see a character walk up and you're like, I don't know who that is. If you don't pay attention,
right?
Or haven't seen another movie or something.
Mm-hmm. You're like, I think I know someone who can help dramatic music swell.
Paddock Wick.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, it's Doug.
So tell us about the Morden introduction, because Paddock, I'm sure it's going to be pretty similar, but let's run through what happens here.
Yeah, Morden shows up, and Shepard is like, oh my gosh, Morden, what are you doing here? And Morden's like, I'm helping these female Krogans, trying to save them, trying to, make up for all the terrible work that my old colleague did. And come downstairs and meet the Lady Krogan.
You can have a long talk with Paddock Wick here about why he's helping you, and you do find out very quickly that he's the spy who sent Reeve this information, because he is, unlike most Solarians, he's religious and wants to find out who the unmoved mover starting the universe was, and has been researching all sorts of spirituality across the alien races.
Well, that's kind of interesting. And we didn't have anything like that. We just had to be like, Morden was like, oh yeah, that was me. Obviously I told Rex what was going on. Mm-hmm. Rex is your pal. You're my pal. It is what it is.
Now Reeve is an interesting character. He's not Reeve, Paddock-Wicks.
Paddock-Wicks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So down in the basement, we meet Eve, who is the only surviving female Krogan from this group that they saved / abducted. And she has an interesting design. She wears sort of a face scarf kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just kind of like over everything. She's like, it's Rex. Fine. Hi. Yeah, I volunteered to be made fertile. I didn't really have a name because I was a shaman in my tribe. They're calling me Eve. I don't care. You want to get me out of here? Fine. Whatever.
Yeah, she's kind of not super thrilled. At least with me, she doesn't think that we're any different, and I tell her she's just being used as a bargaining chip anyways, and that's why we need her.
Oh, you're so rude.
Well, Pim Jenks is a jerk.
Yeah. I was like, oh, we're going to help you and get you back to Rex. And she's like, yeah, Rex can't keep his hands off any fertile female, so it makes sense. She's always sort of implying that he is just like a sex pest.
Oh, okay.
She mentioned something like Rex never met a female he didn't want to jump on or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't like Reeve, but we'll talk more about him, why later. It's pretty different. And I think that's a cool moment of lore. Mm-hmm. So the it's a lot like actually the structure of the last mission. Like they are in the last mission, the students were going on the upstairs balcony, and you had to protect them from being killed by the Cerberus troops.
Cerberus, yeah.
But in this one, there's a slow elevator that they're on that keeps getting stuck, and you have to keep like pressing buttons so it keeps moving while
they're
being
moving through like a
swarmed.
quarantine thing, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like fighting wave after wave of Cerberus while waiting for, in my case, Morden to tell you to press the button to move them to the next area.
I've kind of got used to doing the against the Cerberus troops with I can kill very easily everyone except for Shield Boys. Shield Boys is the only one where I have to really make sure I put turrets behind them so that they turn around, and then you can kill Shield Boys pretty much instantly because you can just freeze them. But otherwise, the combat's not too hard. The only problem is that in this last chunk, right where the elevator gets to the top, the health bar of the elevator, the shield holding Eve, drains so quickly. You basically have to run there, kill everyone, or else it's game over immediately.
Yeah, I don't like it when there's a timer on things, even though it hasn't been a problem because I'm overpowered from my import. I just, I don't know, let me take my time. I like exploring and looking in little crooks and crannies and...
Oh, right. We didn't mention
still.
the thing that happens on Circash and the reason why the Cerberus attacks while you're there. Like, they're suspecting there might be a Cerberus attack, and then there's, like, slowly building levels of alarms as Cerberus attacks.
Approaches.
Yeah. Reeve is on the shuttle. I don't know why he's piloting the shuttle when Cortez is there, but... Reeve is piloting the shuttle and attacking and circling around until you get Eve there. And that's why Cerberus, they want to stop us from getting the Krogans and curing the genophage.
Mm-hmm. What's Cerberus's deal?
I don't know. They seem to be making some bad decisions in this game.
Yeah, I mean, their whole thing in 2 was to stop the Reapers, and now they're just like, who even knows what they're doing?
I thought President Bartlett was so smart. Why is he suddenly making all these deals?
That's why I had a dream about Josh Lyman, because I've been playing Mass Effect 3 and Bartlett's in it.
Exactly.
Things finally make sense.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we finally defeat... Oh, they drop another mech on us. It does seem to be that every mission's like, wait until you see the final boss. Although there is another Shadow Broker callback here if you have Liara, because they see a Yurt or Yurg or Yeen. What's it called? Yurg?
That thing that the Shadow Broker was.
Yeah. There's another one stomping around there that you have to kill, and Liara's real not happy about that. She's like, one of those was bad enough.
There was some great dialogue with Garrus, who said, "Oh, did you see that? I think it was saying Liara, Liara, Liara." And she's like, "That's not funny." And I think at another point he goes, "There goes the next Shadow Broker," and she's like, "Shut up." I like that the characters sort of make fun of each other more and tease each other. It makes it feel
and
like
there's
real
a lot
friendships.
of. It's more like Dragon Age in that there's a lot of new dialogue just during missions, depending on who you have.
Yeah,
That's something that Dragon Age does really well.
yeah, it makes it feel like they have relationships outside of just Shepard.
Yeah, exactly. So you you get Eve. Pavik Wicks says the reason that he called her Eve is because he's so interested in religion and thought that it was actually a reference to human culture. And like, yeah, we know it's like
he says something like referencing human religion seemed appropriate. Which I was like, but everyone's an alien but me.
that's true.
Yeah, but people are really into Shepard.
That's true. So we throw her onto the ship, and it's funny. Reeve is like, "All right, we're taking you now," and she's like, she pulls a Princess Leia, grabs Reeve's shotgun, and just blasts a couple of guys. I like that. She's like,
Yeah.
I'm not your fucking property, dude."
Mm-hmm.
I like this. She has just her whole character arc. I think is really, really good. One of my favorite parts of the game, actually, is this female Krogan.
I like the design of her because she's so different than the male Krogan. She's got like a really kind of Bene Gesserit outfit going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Also, she seems to like really want to lift the Krogan out of their like warlike culture.
Yeah, and she's
Which is really cool because all you really hear about the Krogan is how they were bred for war, and war is all they know, and that's how they ruin their planet. And this female Krogan has very different ideas about how she wants to lead her people, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Is it this game or Mass Effect Andromeda with the Krogan botanist who's like, I don't like guns, I don't like war, I just like plants.
It's not this one, so it must be Andromeda. Okay. But yeah, and she also explains that Krogans aren't really all that warlike. It was just that after the Solarians and Asari and Turians gave them all this technology, they didn't really have an outlet for, their survivalism that weaned their numbers in the past.
Wasn't part of their... I don't know if this was the Krogan... Was this pre or after the uplifting problematic Solarians, where they nuked Tachanka like dozens of times? Like they nuked themselves. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and she sort of implies after the genophage as well, that the sort of scarcity of resource after the planet was nuked and everything like that really led to a lot of this. So she really heavily implies that Krogan culture is not what we have come to know it as.
Well,
and she's pretty okay with Rex, even though she calls him a horn dog. But she's like, yeah, I think that he and I are going to be able to work together to make things better for our people.
Meanwhile, with Reeve, she's like, okay, so Erdnot Rex was reasonable for a Krogan warlord, but Reeve he just wants to be a tyrant. I think that we're going to have to take control away from him as soon as we start repopulating. Like, she's already planning to kill Reeve because she knows he would be a terrible leader.
Fair enough.
I think that's interesting. Yeah. Why not? And you talk to Reeve, and he's just like, First, okay, step 1, repopulate the Krogan. Step 2, we are going to kill all the other races because we're so mad about the genophage. That's fair.
I don't think it is fair.
Yeah, Rex doesn't say that, but he does say, yeah, we're going to need some room to spread out after the genophage is cured. So we're going to have to talk about taking back one of these planets that they took away from us. And you're like, oh, that could be tricky. And he's like, I don't care.
Although, like, I think they do a pretty good job of making the Solarian counselor seem like a total dick in this scene, because maybe it's in the scene before you get to Sir.
Yeah,
it is the scene before you get to Sir Cash, where you have to kind of expose the Solarian counselor as being a jerk. But I liked that whole scene and the way it kind of explains the politics of the Turians and the Solarians and the Krogan. Like, there's a whole thing there that I think they lay out really well.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of history. Because the Solarians created the genophage, but the Turians deployed it. And the reason they had to curb the numbers of these people in the first place was because they were uplifted, which is what they call it when they go to a non-spacefaring culture and give them technology.
Yeah.
So that the Krogans would fight the Rachni War for them.
Is it in this one or in Mass Effect 1 or 2 where they talk about the Andromeda project? About going
It's 3, I think.
Okay. Because, I know it's set up in one of these games. We'll talk about
I
that when
believe...
we get
Well,
there.
maybe it's 2. Maybe it is 2, actually. I think maybe it is 2. Because I think that whole thing is happening concurrently with 2.
Yeah.
Because once the
I will
Reapers
say-
come, it's going to be too late.
I would be interested in eventually playing Andromeda on this, because I will say the one big positive of Andromeda is that Ryder is better acted and written. Is a much more interesting character than Shepard, who's just like space Superman.
Yeah, I'd be willing to revisit Andromeda. I think I played it kind of right when it came out, and it was still buggy.
Yeah,
and
me
probably not
too.
great.
I did play it as soon as it launched, and so it was very broken. But there was still some good parts to it, for sure. All right, so that's it. We rescue Eve. She's on. So I guess she's going to be a fixture on the ship, right? Like, she's someone you can talk to for a while. And Morden / Pavik Wix is going to be on the ship for a while.
Yeah, everyone's just hanging out.
Yep,
But they aren't
Rex / Reeve
characters?
is also on this ship because Morden needs male Krogan DNA.
Right. Now, but none of them are going to be playable, right? You can't play as Morden or Rex or anything?
Correct.
Or as party members? Okay.
They are not party members, yeah.
Yep. But they're hanging around. And the Turians are like, okay, so now you're going to come help us out and fight our war on our planet, right? And Rex is like, the genophage isn't cured yet. So we'll see
I
what
like
happens next.
this part too, because they kind of treat the Krogan like they're stupid.
Yeah.
Or they're not like politically savvy, and then Rex proves to be a very shrewd diplomat where he's like, all right, well, he's like, if you really want this, then you got to follow through. We're curing the genophage. And I think that's really neat.
Yeah, Reeve comes off as more like just stupid. He's like, no. He's not subtle about it. He just says, well, as soon as I don't care about that, I only care about the genophage, so I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
And did anyone do any side missions you want to talk about real fast, or bullshit mini games?
The only side missions I did were the ones that we already talked about, which was the Eden Prime mission where you get Javik, which is DLC, and then the Grissom Academy mission. And I've played through that one a couple times, once where Jack was there and once where Jack wasn't. The playthrough without Jack is pretty boring.
Yeah. I feel like you can feel there's something missing, as good as
Yeah.
Pringles is.
Yeah.
I talked to Arya over in the Citadel. She has been kicked out of Omega. That has been overtaken by the Reapers, or Cerberus, or someone kicked her out. And so she's very mad about that and wants you to bust the mercenary leader, one of the mercenary leaders, out of prison. She wants to unify all the mercenary groups like the Blue Suns and etc. etc.
The Blue Suns and Blood Pack and Eclipse.
Yeah. She wants them to join the war effort so she can lead them and then retake Omega. That's as far as I got with that. But that
The
seems like
Omega,
fun.
so the Omega mission, that's DLC. So Omega, it's part of the Omega DLC. It's long as hell.
It is, yeah.
It's a long DLC, man. It goes and goes and goes. But I think it's good. But it just, man, compared to the other DLC, it's very long.
It seems like the Citadel DLC is long too. Vanessa was showing lots of screenshots from that. And it seems very weird.
The Citadel DLC is, it's as long as you want to make it.
Oh,
like, you
interesting.
can get through it quickly, or you can choose to explore, and there's lots of fun, like, Easter egg stuff if you're willing to, like, really look in all the nooks and crannies of it. But the Omega DLC is just, like, a really long combat section.
Yeah.
Okay.
With, like, short little periods of rest where you can save and stuff, but it's very long.
Leviathan is not that long, but is interesting.
No,
Leviathan was really story heavy.
Leviathan's a series of short missions.
Yeah. I liked Leviathan. And it has some detective work,
I
which Vanessa loves.
I liked the Leviathan DLC, but I don't know that I like what it does for the lore of the game.
Really? I remember the
I
lore
kinda
being
liked
really
it.
cool. We'll talk about that in like a DLC episode
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something. So what are we doing next time?
I think that next time we can probably play to the end of the Turian homeworld and be okay.
Okay. And do a lot of DLC. Should I do one of the DLCs? I guess I can do them anytime. And then
Yeah, I
talk
think
about
that
them
those
at
will
some
have to
point.
be like their own kind of episode to talk
Okay.
about, but you can do whatever
that's
you
fine.
want.
Yeah, I only learned about all this, different stuff being DLC after I played through the game, but I mostly just stumbled into all the DLC, so it's okay if you accidentally trigger one.
It seems well integrated now. It doesn't feel
It is,
separate.
yeah.
It's very seamless. Although, like, I will say that the tonal shift for the Citadel DLC is very jarring if you're not expecting it.
Well,
Yeah.
that's like the fan service DLC, right?
Yes, yeah.
And I think narratively, it's probably meant to go pretty close to the end game.
It is, for sure.
But it also opens up. It has so many bullshit mini games, Johnny. You're gonna love it.
Oh, yeah. And you also get, like, one of the best guns in the game in that DLC.
I think I played it, but I rushed through it, so it'll be interesting to take my time and explore it this time.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, and you can keep coming back to that area once you have unlocked it, so that's fun too.
You get a whole little residence on the Citadel. Mm-hmm. Get your own apartment.
And a new area of the Citadel to explore.
Yeah.
Matt, Jim, or Vanessa, did you do any side missions that you think would be fun to talk about before we go?
I don't think so. Not this time. It was kind of after this that I started poking around a little bit more, so I can wait till next time to talk about that.
I did some planet exploration here. Every time I visit a new system for a mission, I'll usually fully explore that system and whatever surrounding systems there are. So I was able to collect some... Like, every time you scan a system and find something worthwhile in your codex, it will call it out as Citadel. Like, you need to go to the Citadel to complete this. So I was able to log like 4 or 5 different Citadel missions that I need to go lock up. So
the scanning mechanic, I think it's pretty fun.
I think it's
a lot
fun.
Worse
Oh, sorry,
than
Matt, go
Mass
ahead.
Effect 2.
Oh, okay.
You know, I like them both, but with the Mass Effect 2 scanning, it was like almost like I could just scan planets for an hour or two and kind of dissociate. Like, it was kind of a relaxing thing that you could do, and it's a little bit more... You have to be a little bit more involved in this one.
It was a mini game in 2, and in this, it is not. It is literally just go to the thing.
Launching probe.
scan the thing, follow the arrow indicator.
Yeah,
launch the probe
but if you
and collect
scan
the
too
thing.
much, the Reapers will come and chase you out.
Is that
Although
only
I
in
did-
Reaper-controlled areas?
Yeah, only in Reaper controlled systems. There is a little life hack, if you will. So if you're in a system and you've triggered the Reapers to follow you, you can still you can avoid them for a while, scan whatever system that you're in, and then if you leave that system and come back in, basically your entry point into that system is your entry point, where you come in from when you're on the galaxy map. So if you've scanned an asset that's let's say in the top right of the system, if you leave that system and then enter through the top right of the little circle, you'll come in on the top right of the map. So you can quickly get whatever asset that is and get out before the Reapers catch you.
Well,
That's
also
kinda
on the
fun.
PlayStation 5, the load times are so fast. You can just keep scanning and let the Reaper catch you, and then it reloads, and your scan marks won't be there. But if you remember where the stuff was, you can just
Yeah,
scan those two
yeah.
places and be like, ding, ding, done.
Yeah, I don't think the Reapers were much of an obstacle on this. Once you figure, you can avoid them pretty easily. Just once they're there, because they get progressively faster as you're avoiding them. So be sure to just leave the map as quickly as you can, and then just come back in near wherever your focal point is.
Will they be back in the map when you come back in?
They won't be there. They'll come back after a second or two.
Oh, okay.
You'll hear their Reaper horn, and then they'll come into the map, but they won't be just sitting there.
Okay. I
Sorry,
guess
my
that
cat
is
has
kind of a
climbed
bullshit.
in the recycling bin and is making a
Oh.
huge racket.
Yeah, my cat tends to do that when she's annoyed.
Yeah, he's annoyed
Walk
that
around.
I'm podcasting and not paying attention
Yeah.
to him. Come here.
She's.
Come here.
I woke up today and she was sleeping against my back because she was cold. It was very cute. She doesn't normally cuddle like that, so it was very unusual. All right, so next time, End of Rannoch, the Turian homeworld. Matthew, what are you squarely against?
Well, since we just talked about it, I'm squarely against that new scanning mechanic. I think it's much lamer than Mass Effect 2. Similar to what Jim said, I really liked kind of zoning out into that, and now you just, I don't know, this is just so much lamer. What about you, John?
I am, let's see. I'm roundly for when the substitute characters have different things to say. I think it adds replayability to the
Yeah.
game, and it does feel like a very different playthrough than my first Super Good Guy playthrough. Although I do hate being a renegade, because sometimes you just have to be a real jerk, and I don't like doing that. What about you, Jim?
I will say that I'm roundly for the usually geopolitical discussions and these kinds of games really bore me. But I really like all of the political discussions between all the races and them dredging up all of this stuff. On one hand, it's kind of unbelievable because there's a biomechanical race of aliens that's threatening to wipe out everyone's existence, and they're still being really petty. But at the same time, it's very true to the lore of the game, and it's cool to see all of this stuff that you've been reading about in the Codex really come to a head with all these counselors and stuff. So I'm roundly for just all of that being executed the way that it is. What about you, Vanessa?
This is kind of a small thing, but I just really liked going to the Solarian homeworld and seeing that it was like a jungle type planet, and the architecture is basically all the same in every world that you go to. But I like seeing the heart of these different civilizations that we've come to know.
I think the Solarians are really cool, actually.
Yeah, I like
So, yeah,
the
it was
little
cool
lore
to
you
see
pick up
Circa.
about them. Like, they only live about 40 years. They lay egg clutches that are then fertilized by the male
Yeah.
external of the female.
I think I read somewhere, and that I think this was cut from the game, but you were supposed to meet, I can't remember if it was in 2 or 3, but like a Solarian Spectre, which would have been super rad to see, like kind of a Solarian super soldier. And I like that the Solarians are known to be like spies. It's just really, really neat color to some of the background characters.
Yeah.
I do like that Dr. Michelle is like, so what do you call those things on top of the Solarian? Are they horns? Are they tentacles? Ears? That was fun. She should know that as a doctor, though. All right. Well, we have a Patreon, and on our Patreon for $3 a month, you get access to every single bonus episode we've ever done. We just did one on The Last of Us Episode 3, the TV show on HBO. And we talk about that. Did we like it? Did we not like it? You'll have to listen and find out for yourself. For $5 a month, you get access to the votes, and there will be a vote coming up pretty soon. And I believe it's going to be Matt's choices for Matt games.
Matt.
Yes. Very good, Matthew.
That's right, buddy.
I'm tired.
Support the podcast. Help us buy microphones and headphones and orange juice covered computers and all the things that we need. Sorry, Sunny D. To do the podcast. It helps us out, helps us get games, which are not free, and y'all help me get a cool monitor. So thank you.
I think I put this in the group chat earlier today, but I was just taking a peek at the Patreon last night, and we have patrons that have been consistently members for over 2 years, and that's pretty awesome.
It's really cool.
Thank you so much for your support. And no matter what you do, I guess the Patreon should be earlier. That's fine. We like to thank every single patron individually. So why don't you start with that, Sleepy Matt?
I would like to thank Julie, DP2099, Chris Penyak, Star Drifter, Vanessa's mom wants to retake the Omega Relay, Alexander Jokic, Jake Dickerson, welcome to Cute Boy Jail, honk honk, Jared Collins, oh, you don't have the right, Stephen Paget, and Jeremy I Am. What about you, John?
I'd like to thank Dr. Fine, say everyone's name, Wishbone is Gay, John Scala, Ross Hartley, Justin Ham, Evan K, Isaac Wright, Sol Wagner, Adam H, Florian Jonas Kramer, Magpie Juju, and Andy Best. What about you, Jim?
I would like to thank Justin Rash. New York is a Vanessa. She'll make you cry. And to her, you're just another guy.
Aww.
RP Siege, Sexy Grandma's Retirement Home. Bree Girth, My Battery is Low. Joshua W. Broxson, Megan Sullivan. Aaron Serenity Now, Little. Sammy Mitchell, A Smaller Donut with Its Own Hole. And Tyler Crump.
And I would like to thank Lexa Varial, Robert T., David Arnold, Benjamin Hilberg, Tom, Kristen Ingram, Josh Holt, Teen Wolfhard Bumpkins, Katie Tolman, Esteban Gonzalez, CharityWater.org, Mike Marno, oh hey, it's Amanda P., and Jack Mizell.
All right, everyone, that's it for this episode of Square Roots. If you would like to have an email read on the air, you can send that to squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. Come see us at our Facebook group, the Square Roots Podcast Group for smart, cool, very attractive people, or find us on Twitter at Square Roots Pod.
And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes, Ghana, or wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, etc. Thanks to Stephen Morris for our Square Roots theme. You can find Stephen on Twitter as Beige on Beige and on YouTube. Links in the show notes.
All right, everyone, for Square Roots, I'm Jim Banks.
I'm Matthew Van Zant.
I'm Johnny Brandon.
Prunes.
Bye. Bye. Prunes.